Chapter 3471. Lin Feng asked. Why was your father ambushed? What are the origins of those who attacked him? Yu Simon said. My father obtained something in his early years. Perhaps it was because of that thing that he suffered this calamity. Those who attacked him seemed to be from the Undying Realm. People from the Undying Realm? Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. The Undying Realm. Apart from the celestial race and immortal race, there must be some other powerful factions. Lin Feng didn't know which group he belonged to in the undead world, but he knew one thing. The other party's faction was extremely terrifying and powerful. Yes. People from the Undying Realm. However, I don't know their exact origins, Yu Simon said. What was that thing your father obtained? It actually attracted the attention of the major factions of the Undying Realm. Lin Feng could not help but ask curiously. To be able to make the major factions of the Undying Realm attack so heavily, from this, it could be seen how extraordinary that thing was. The ruler's armor, Yu Simon said. Ruler's armor? What's that? Lin Feng could not help but ask, puzzled. She had heard of many supreme treasures. However, this ruler's armor, this was the first time Lin Feng had heard of it. However, from the name, it was definitely an extremely terrifying supreme treasure. Lin Feng suddenly thought of the Demon Lord. He wondered if the Demon Lord had heard of this supreme treasure. Demon Lord! Have you heard of the ruler's armor? Lin Feng could not help but ask. Never heard of it, the Demon Lord said. At this time, Yu Simon said, Actually, I have not seen the ruler's armor before, but my father mentioned it to me. He said that this supreme treasure was forged by a supreme ruler of the wasteland. If one can obtain the ruler's armor's acknowledgement, they might be able to obtain the legacy of that ruler of the wasteland. Of course, if one can wear the ruler's armor, their strength will greatly increase. The ruler's armor is a treasure that can help a cultivator increase their strength. Lin Feng asked in surprise. This kind of magical weapon was extremely rare. However, once such a treasure was born, it would inevitably cause a storm of blood. This was because such a magic treasure was truly too shocking. Anyone who saw such a magic treasure would feel a rush of excitement. That should be the case. My father's rise is closely related to the ruler's armor. Unfortunately, my father is unable to wear the ruler's armor. If he could wear the ruler's armor, then with his father's cultivation, he would have a great chance of winning even against those emperor-rank powerhouses. At that time, it will be very difficult to find an opponent under the starry sky, Yu Simon said. Lin Feng couldn't help but nod. Yu Simon's father was an Emperor Realm Master, and he was extremely terrifying. Wearing a supreme treasure like the Dominator's armor, coupled with the defensive properties of the Dominator's armor, his battle prowess was greatly boosted. At that time, it would indeed be so terrifying that it would make people turn pale with fright. It was a pity. Yu Simon's father was unable to wear the sovereign's armor. This is father's regret. But father also knew. This kind of thing cannot be forced, Yu Simon said. Lin Feng asked. Then where is the ruler's armor? It shouldn't have been taken by those people who attacked, right? Yu Simon nodded and said, The Overlord's armor really hasn't been taken away by those people. Father has kept it in an extremely secretive and dangerous place. I tried to enter that place before, but I failed, Lin Feng said. Take me there to have a look. If I can wear the ruler's armor, I might be able to rescue father-in-law. Hearing Lin Feng call her father-in-law, Yu Simon's pretty face instantly turned pink. Her heart was filled with joy. She nodded with a red face. The ancient starship Xianyuan quickly sailed through the starry sky world. Lin Feng and Yu Simon had been separated for a long time, and now that they were reunited, they were like firewood burning with passion. There was no need to explain the details. Bang! On this day, a loud sound shook the sky. The ancient starship Xianyuan shook violently. A middle-aged cultivator stood in the starry sky world. That middle-aged cultivator punched the ancient starship Xianyuan. The ancient starship Xianyuan was forced to stop. The person who attacked was extremely terrifying. Lin Feng stepped out of the ancient starship Xianyuan and saw the middle-aged cultivator. This was an Emperor Ancestor Realm expert, and he was extremely terrifying. The current Lin Feng. He attacked with all his strength. He could fight against a sovereign emperor. However, if Lin Feng relied on his magic treasures, such as the 3 stone swords, the Hell King's Bell, the Black Dragon's Sword, the Sky Drum, and other supreme treasures, he could even fight against an Emperor Ancestor Realm expert. Therefore, after seeing this Emperor Ancestor Realm expert, Lin Feng didn't feel any fear. You dare to stop this young master's ancient starship? Are you here to die? Lin Feng crossed his hands behind his back and looked at the middle-aged cultivator with a cold expression. The middle-aged cultivator's face turned gloomy. He was an Emperor Ancestor Realm expert, but Lin Feng dared to be so presumptuous. Naturally, the middle-aged cultivator's killing intent soared to the heavens. Wan Xinliang! At this time, Yu Simon followed Lin Feng out of the cabin. After seeing the middle-aged man, Yu Simon's pretty face changed slightly. Yu Simon clearly recognized the middle-aged man's identity. Who is he? Lin Feng looked at Yu Simon and asked. He's Wan Qing's father, Yu Simon said with a nervous expression. Lin Feng had killed Wan Qing and the others. However, Wan Qing and the others couldn't be compared to Wan Xinliang. An Emperor Ancestor Realm expert was in existence that everyone in the starry sky world feared like a tiger. Very few people could fight against such a cultivator. Wan Xinliang's eyes flashed with dense killing intent. You little bastard! You killed Wan Qing! Today, this seat will tear you to pieces! Then I'll send your soul into the boundless purgatory so that your soul will never be reincarnated. As soon as he finished speaking, waves of terrifying fluctuations surged out of Wan Xinliang's body as he began to prepare a powerful divine ability. He wanted to attack Lin Feng. Are you ready to die? Wan Xinliang walked step by step toward the ancient starship Xianyuan. The aura in his body became more and more terrifying. Lin Feng looked at Wan Xinliang with contempt and sneered. Shouldn't I be asking you this question? Are you ready to die? Little bastard! Don't be so arrogant! Wan Xinliang's eyes flashed with dense killing intent. He leaped up and flew toward the ancient starship Xianyuan. Then, he sent a terrifying palm strike toward Lin Feng. Wan Xinliang was so angry that he didn't even want to torture Lin Feng to death. Chapter 3472. The power of Wan Xinliang's palm strike was extremely terrifying. However, Lin Feng remained indifferent in the face of Wan Xinliang's attack. He waved his right hand. The ancient ship's surface was covered in intertwined emperor runes. They looked like ribbons of laws that could destroy everything in their path. It was extremely powerful. It was shocking. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. Wan Xinliang and the ancient ship's emperor runes collided fiercely. Although Wan Xinliang was powerful, the restrictions on the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship were also extremely powerful. Therefore, the restrictions on the ancient ship easily neutralized Wan Xinliang's attack. It would be difficult for Wan Xinliang to get close to Lin Feng. This ancient ship is so powerful! Yu Simon, who had been worried all this time, saw how powerful the ancient ship was, and her eyes lit up. With such a powerful ancient ship, Lin Feng might not be a match for Wan Xinliang, but with this ancient ship, he might be able to shake off Wan Xinliang. Low-level Emperor Realm? That's all you got? You're trash! I'll kill you like a dog! Lin Feng looked at Wan Xinliang indifferently. Yu Simon could only smile bitterly. Lin Feng was facing a great desect cultivator, and he was still acting so arrogantly. Yu Simon's heart trembled. She couldn't understand what Lin Feng was thinking. Does Lin Feng really have the means to kill an Emperor Realm expert? Yu Simon suddenly thought of a possibility. Lin Feng's means were extraordinary. Even now, Yu Simon didn't know where Lin Feng's limits were. It sounded unbelievable that Lin Feng could kill an Emperor Realm expert, but it wasn't impossible. In this world, everything was possible. Little bastard! After I break through your ancient ship's defenses, I'd like to see if you're still as arrogant as before. Wan Xinliang couldn't help but sneer, his eyes flashing with dense killing intent. With a wave of Wan Xinliang's hand, a treasure flew out. It was a bronze artifact. The bronze item was a devil's dragon blood blade. It exuded a terrifying power that could destroy heaven and earth. A slight tremor ran through his body. It was as if it could instantly shatter the starry sky within 100,000 miles. Its power was so strong that it made people tremble in fear. This was a top-notch bronze artifact. It was extremely terrifying. Wan Xinliang brought out this top-grade bronze tool and directly bombarded the defensive restrictions of the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship. It looked like it was about to hit the defensive restrictions of the Xianyuan ancient starry sky ship. At this moment, the dragon's roar resounded through the clouds. The black dragon's sword flew out and collided with the bronze weapon. Clang! Along with the clanging sound of collision, the black dragon's sword blocked the attack of Yu Simon's bronze weapon. The army mantra! 3 stone swords out! At the same time, Lin Feng activated the army mantra and controlled the 3 stone swords to slash at Wan Xinliang. Under the activation of the army mantra, the power released by the 3 stone swords was simply unimaginable. The 3 stone swords tore through the void and quickly arrived beside Wan Xinliang. Then, they slashed at Wan Xinliang. Wan Xinliang's expression changed drastically when he sensed the power of the 3 stone swords. The 3 stone swords locked onto Wan Xinliang from 3 different directions. Wan Xinliang couldn't dodge. However, just as the 3 stone swords were about to slash at Wan Xinliang brought out a miniature puppet. Swish! A light flashed. Wan Xinliang disappeared without a trace. As for the tiny puppet, it quickly grew larger and transformed into Wan Xinliang's appearance. The 3 stone swords pierced into the body of the tiny puppet that had transformed into Wan Xinliang. Wan Xinliang's original body appeared 200 meters away, and he put away his bronze equipment. His expression was extremely gloomy. Lin Feng's strength was beyond Wan Xinliang's expectations. Yu Simon was also extremely shocked. Lin Feng actually forced an Emperor sect expert to be flustered. It was unbelievable. And this shockingly powerful man was actually her man. Thinking of this, Yu Simon's heart could not help but feel a sense of pride. Little bastard. Just you wait. Wait for me to get help and I'll take your life. Wan Xinliang looked at Lin Feng with resentment. His eyes flashed with cold killing intent. He cursed bitterly. Then, he quickly flew into the distance, wanting to escape. However, Lin Feng didn't plan to give Wan Xinliang a chance to escape. Now was a great opportunity to kill Wan Xinliang. Therefore, Lin Feng quickly chased after him. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. He quickly caught up with Wan Xinliang. Then, the 3 stone swords under Lin Feng's control slashed at Wan Xinliang again. Wan Xinliang's expression became unsightly. Lin Feng's strength was beyond Wan Xinliang's expectations, and Lin Feng's cultivation was also beyond Wan Xinliang's expectations. Wan Xinliang couldn't believe that such a young cultivator, and a human cultivator who had already declined, could cultivate to Lin Feng's level. Facing the attack of the 3 stone swords, Wan Xinliang swept over with the bronze weapon in his hand. Suddenly, a bronze world was condensed. The bronze world directly enveloped the 3 stone swords. Break! Lin Feng shouted in a low voice. With a flick of his finger. Clang! His right index finger flicked on the black dragon sword, and a powerful force suddenly erupted. The black dragon sword was directly bounced away. The power of the black dragon sword was too tyrannical. With the addition of the black dragon sword and the power of the 3 stone swords, 4 great swords, they displayed a heaven-defying power. Puff! A tearing sound suddenly came out. The bronze world was directly torn apart by the 4 great swords, and then the 4 great swords quickly slashed towards Wan Xinliang. Each of the 4 great swords was incomparably tyrannical. Facing the attack of the 4 great swords, Wan Xinliang was shocked. He swept the bronze weapon in his hand towards the four great swords. Clang, clang, clang. The bronze weapon in Wan Xiliang's hand only knocked away Lin Feng's 3 stone swords. The black dragon sword quickly arrived in front of Wan Xiliang. Then, the black dragon sword pierced through Wan Xiliang's chest. How could this be? Wan Xiliang looked at the bloody hole in his chest in disbelief. He couldn't believe that he was killed just like that. Boundless pain engulfed Wan Xiliang, making him feel as if he had fallen into hell. Cold, darkness, despair, fear, death. Wan Xiliang had never felt like this before. He didn't want to die, but everything could no longer be reversed. Wan Xiliang only felt endless darkness enveloping him. Then, he lost all signs of life, and his body fell towards an unknown place in the starry sky world. Lin Feng, on the other hand, blasted a palm towards Wan Xiliang's body. Chapter 3473. Myriad Kingdom Star. City Lord's Mansion. Yuanshan Lamp Hall. Boom! Wan Xiliang's Yuanshan lamp directly shattered, which frightened the few servants who were cleaning the dust in the Yuanshan Lamp Hall. It's Lord Wan Xiliang's Yuanshan lamp that broke. Quickly report the news, a servant said with a trembling voice. Then, a few servants rushed outside, their bodies trembling. They found the elder in charge of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall. Then they told the elder everything that happened in the Yuanshan Lamp Hall. When the elder learned that Wan Xiliang's Yuanshan lamp broke, he was also shocked. Because Wan Xiliang was not only an emperor-level expert, and he was the younger brother of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. This identity was too extraordinary. Now that Wan Xiliang had fallen, it was definitely an earth-shattering event. The elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall did not dare to hesitate. He hurried to the place where the Myriad Kingdom Emperor cultivated to report this matter. Myriad Kingdom Star Hall! This was the place where the Myriad Kingdom Emperor cultivated. This place exuded a powerful fluctuation, and the aura was extremely terrifying. Outside the Myriad Kingdom Star Hall, there were more than a dozen guards guarding this place. When the elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall arrived, he was also stopped by these people. Please pass on the message to the Lord. Tell him that something urgent has happened, the elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall said anxiously. Elder, please wait a moment, the guard commander said, and was about to enter the hall to report this matter. At this time, a low voice came from the Myriad Kingdom Star Hall. Come in. As soon as the voice fell, a loud rumbling sound suddenly came out. The closed door opened on its own. After the elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall entered the hall, he saw the cultivator sitting cross-legged in the hall. It was a middle-aged cultivator who bore some resemblance to Wan Xiliang. This cultivator's body exuded a suffocating pressure. It was like the pressure of the Lord of the Heavens. This middle-aged cultivator was the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. The elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall did not dare to stare at the Myriad Kingdom Emperor for too long. Even if the Myriad Kingdom Emperor closed his eyes, he did not dare to do so. After entering the Myriad Kingdom Star Hall, the elder of the Yuanshan Lamp Hall quickly knelt on the ground and saluted the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. What's the matter? Speak! The Myriad Country's Emperor asked. The elder of the Primordial Spirit Lamp Hall hurriedly said, Reporting to the Lord. Lord Wan Xiliang's origin spirit lamp was broken. Lord Wan Xiliang has fallen. What? The eyes of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor suddenly opened. 2 cold beams of light shot out from his eyes, almost piercing through the void. Who did it? Myriad Kingdom Emperor's voice was filled with killing intent. The Emperor of Myriad Countries had been close to Wan Xiliang since he was young. The two of them had experienced many life and death situations together. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms was far more talented than Wan Xiliang. Therefore, even though they had grown up together, there was still a huge gap between their strengths. When Myriad Kingdom Emperor was young, he provoked an expert, and was hunted down by that expert. At that time, Wan Xiliang wanted to help his elder brother escape. He even pretended to be his elder brother, and lured the expert away. And that time, Wan Xiliang had narrowly escaped death. When Myriad Kingdom Emperor found Wan Xiliang, Wan Xinliang only had one last breath left. Fortunately, Myriad Kingdom Emperor had countless opportunities when he was young and had a peerless elixir to save Wan Xinliang. Later, the young Myriad Kingdom Emperor gradually rose and became a super overlord in the starry sky. And Myriad Kingdom Emperor took great care of Wan Xinliang. The reason why Wan Xinliang was able to cultivate to the Emperor realm was because Myriad Kingdom Emperor had spent countless immortal pills and treasures to help Wan Xinliang break through. However, the emperors of 10,000 countries were willing to do all this for Wan Xinliang. Now. But Wan Xinliang was killed. Scenes of the past appeared in his mind. The killing intent in Myriad Kingdom Emperor's heart was like the overflowing yellow river, uncontrollable. I heard that young Master Wan Qing led people to deal with you, Simon, but they were killed, including young Master Wan Qing. Later, when Lord Wan Xinliang found out about this, he was furious and found Taoist Qianji to deduce the cause and effect, then quickly chased out. Then, Lord Wan Xinliang's origin spirit lamp was extinguished. The origin spirit lamp hall elder said. You, Simon! It's related to Myriad Star Emperor's daughter. No matter who it is. The other party must die. All must die. Myriad Kingdom Emperor could not help roaring angrily, his eyes bursting with endless killing intent. Then he shouted in a deep voice. What are you waiting for? Go and invite Taoist Qianji. I want to ask him about the result of his deduction. Yes, subordinate will go and invite Taoist Qianji. The origin spirit lamp hall elder did not dare to hesitate and hurriedly left after responding. He went to look for Taoist Qianji. The ancient starship Xianyuan continued to fly in the starry sky world. Lin Feng did not know that an emperor-level powerhouse was about to come to seek revenge. But even if he knew, Lin Feng had no fear. The supreme path. It was destined to be paved with white bones. Therefore, Lin Feng had long been mentally prepared. So, even if he knew that an emperor-level powerhouse was about to come, Lin Feng would not shrink back. If he wanted to walk the supreme path, it meant that it would be stained with blood. This was a path with no turning back. Either he stepped on the bones of countless powerhouses to become a supreme heavens, or he would become bones under the feet of others and be buried in the starry sky, dying without a burial place. Inside the ancient starship Xianyuan, Lin Feng began to check the storage rings he obtained. Many of the storage rings stored a lot of good things. There were all kinds of immortal iron, divine stones, heaven and earth treasures, array materials, precious insect materials. Of course, there were also mountains of immortal stones, various magic treasures, and so on. Lin Feng moved all these things into the mountain river ring. Lin Feng picked up a ring, which was the storage ring of the Emperor Sect powerhouse Wan Xinliang. An Emperor Sect level powerhouse's storage ring should have extremely extraordinary things. Just as his divine sense invaded Wan Xinliang's storage ring, a gloomy and terrifying voice suddenly resounded. Spirit of all evil! Spirit of all evil! Black qi spread out and wrapped around Lin Feng's divine sense, instantly swallowing the strand of divine sense that Lin Feng had invaded Wan Xinliang's storage ring. Not good! Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. Wan Xinliang's storage ring definitely hid a huge secret. He didn't know what kind of energy that strange black qi was made of. It was really too terrifying. It made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. Something even stranger happened. After swallowing Lin Feng's divine sense, that strange black qi flew out of Wan Xinliang's storage ring and flew towards Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng hurriedly brought out the black flame god burning fire, a heavenly flame. Lin Feng's heavenly flame directly enveloped that strange black qi. Lin Feng wanted to use the power of the heavenly flame to burn that strange black qi to ashes. But he failed. That black qi rushed out of the heavenly flame and rushed into Lin Feng's mind. Then, that black qi turned into an ugly ghost face and began to search Lin Feng's mind for his soul. Chapter 3474. The ghostly face formed by the strange black gas quickly found Lin Feng's soul. Then, it opened its bloody mouth. It wanted to devour Lin Feng's soul in one gulp. You're courting death! The tiny soul person formed by Lin Feng's soul had an indifferent expression. It directly jumped out and transformed into Liu Ye's star chart. This supreme divine ability passed down by Taoist Liu Ye immediately unleashed an unimaginably terrifying power. It instantly pierced through the ghostly face formed by the strange black gas. He, I'm an immortal existence. You can't kill me. However, as long as I find a chance, I'll directly devour you. The ghostly face laughed sinisterly. Then, it quickly pounced towards Lin Feng's soul. So strange. Lin Feng couldn't help but be very surprised. This ghostly face's methods were really quite extraordinary. It actually had the ability to not die. However, Lin Feng wasn't without a way to deal with this ghostly face. Lin Feng waved his hand. Suddenly, the black flame god devouring fire flew out and surrounded the ghostly face. Hoo hoo hoo! The black flame god devouring fire burned fiercely. The ghostly face immediately let out a disdainful voice. It's useless. Although this kind of heavenly fire is powerful, it can't hurt me at all. After saying that, the ghostly face tried to rush out of the heavenly fire again. Lin Feng sneered. If one kind of heavenly fire can't kill you, what about 5? Swish! Light flickered. The other 4 heavenly fires. The purple earthcore fire, netherworld fire, golden dragon divine fire, and black flame god devouring fire all flew out one after another. 5 elements heavenly fire array! Then, Lin Feng activated the 5 heavenly fires and formed the 5 elements heavenly fire array. This 5 elements heavenly fire grand array was an extremely terrifying array formation. Because the power of one heavenly fire was already terrifying enough. Let alone 5 heavenly fires combined together? When the 5 heavenly fires were combined together, the power of the heavenly fire formed was unimaginable. It was so powerful that it was unbelievable. It was extremely terrifying and shocking. Right now, the 5 elements heavenly fire grand array combined together and instantly released a terrifying might. The powerful flames engulfed the ghost face. The formation had fused the power of the 5 heavenly flames. Chi 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 chi. The ghostly face emitted an intense burning sound. Next, black smoke began to rise. Ah! The ghostly face let out an incomparably mournful scream. Lin Feng's 5 elements heavenly fire array had caused serious damage to the ghostly face. The 5 elements heavenly fire grand array was indeed terrifying to the extreme. Lin Feng was very satisfied with the power it displayed. 5 types of skyfire. You alone have collected 5 types of skyfire? How is that possible? The ghost face roared in disbelief. The heavenly flame was too precious. Since ancient times, countless experts had tried to find the heavenly flame. Then, he would refine the heavenly fire. But he found nothing. Of course, there were also many experts who found the heavenly fire and tried to refine it. But how could it be so easy to refine the heavenly fire? Many people were burned to ashes by the terrifying flames emitted by the heavenly fire when they were refining it. In the end, they died miserably. This kind of thing. It happened often. Therefore, it was extremely difficult to refine one type of skyfire. However, Lin Feng had refined 5 types of skyfire. It was indeed too unbelievable. No wonder the ghostly face was so shocked. No matter who it was, they would probably be shocked when they encountered such a situation. Lin Feng's skyfire displayed an almost heaven-defying ability. The ghostly face rushed left and right. But it was unable to rush out of the 5 elements heavenly fire grand array. In the end, the ghostly face was completely refined to death by Lin Feng. What exactly is this thing? It's actually so strange? Lin Feng could not help but be puzzled. The mysterious item in Wan Xinliang's storage ring aroused Lin Feng's curiosity. Lin Feng was about to use his divine will to search Wan Xinliang's storage ring again. Suddenly, at this moment, crack crack, Wan Xinliang's storage ring directly cracked open. An evil light flew out from Wan Xinliang's storage ring. The evil light's speed was so fast that it rushed out of the cabin in an instant. It wanted to tear apart the ancient starship's restriction. Then it fled. However, the ancient starship's restriction was too powerful. It reflected the evil light back. What the hell is this? Show yourself! Lin Feng chased after it. He performed the 9 heavens 10 earths supremacy technique. The terrifying attack slammed into the evil light. The evil light was beaten back to its original form by Lin Feng. Finally, it turned into a book surrounded by an evil aura. The book was extremely simple and unadorned. It emitted a creepy aura that made one's hair stand on end. That book definitely had an extraordinary origin. It should be the book that had released the bizarre black aura from before. Then, that strange black aura turned into a terrifying ghostly face and attacked Lin Feng. What book is this? Lin Feng could not help but be puzzled. He reached out to grab the book. However, at this time, a cold voice came from the book. Lowly creature, take away your filthy hand. A lowly bloodline like yours is not qualified to touch the great book of the dead. After hearing that voice, Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. This book was too strange. It could actually speak. Could it be that the book itself was a powerful treasure? The creature that had just spoken was actually the book's spirit? Thinking about it carefully, it was possible. However, this book was too arrogant. It was just a book. How could it boast so shamelessly? Lin Feng sneered. Do you believe that I won't burn you? The book sneered. Brat! Even if you control 5 heavenly flames, you can't hurt me. I'm made of profound heaven immortal silk. Fire and water can't invade me, and nothing can hurt me. All of your methods are useless against me. Really? I don't believe it, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. He immediately grabbed the book. Then, he exerted force, trying to tear the book in half. However, after some effort, Lin Feng found that he had failed. That book was simply too extraordinary. He could not tear it apart at all. I already said that you can't hurt me, but you didn't believe me. Do you believe me now? Lowly ant, can you let go of me now? The book said sarcastically. Lin Feng did not believe it. He took out the black dragon sword and threw the book into the air. Chapter 3475. Clang! When the black dragon sword slashed the book, it was as if it had slashed a powerful and incomparably hard magic treasure. It made a clanging sound and did not cause any damage to the ancient book at all. After seeing this scene, Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. This was too unbelievable. It was just a book, but it was so extraordinary. It was really unbelievable. The book continued to ridicule. Kid! It's useless! These magic treasures can't hurt me at all. Lin Feng then took out the stone sword and attacked the book with the stone sword. The stone sword's power was extraordinary, and it slashed the book. However, the stone sword was also unable to destroy the book. Lin Feng's expression was extremely gloomy. The strangeness of the book shocked him. At this time, the demon lord's voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. Take out the stone dagger. Use the stone dagger to stab the book. After hearing the demon lord's words, Lin Feng's spirit could not help but be shocked. He quickly took out the stone dagger. Stone dagger. It was the vampiric dagger that Lin Feng had obtained before. It was very strange. Swish! With a flash of light, the stone dagger appeared in Lin Feng's hand. Lin Feng grabbed the stone dagger and directly stabbed towards the book. At this time, the book suddenly shook. It swept out a destructive rune towards Lin Feng. The book obviously would not let Lin Feng continue to attack it. Previously, it allowed Lin Feng to attack it because it wanted to numb Lin Feng. Then, it found a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It launched a killing blow towards Lin Feng. Now, the book found such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so it did not hesitate to attack Lin Feng. A destructive force was about to penetrate Lin Feng's body. The situation was critical. At this time, Lin Feng's body disappeared without a trace. At the critical moment, Lin Feng used the heaven patching technique to dodge the book's attack. The next moment, Lin Feng appeared beside the book and the stone dagger in his hand directly stabbed towards the book. Overestimating yourself! The book sneered and rushed towards Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng took the initiative to strike first. The stone dagger in his hand. It directly stabbed at the book. A poochie sound was heard. A tearing sound was suddenly heard. The stone dagger. It directly pierced the book. At this time, a strange scene appeared. A large amount of blood began to gush out from the book. And all the blood was absorbed by the stone dagger. Ah! The book screamed. The book was like a living being. The book itself was a body, and this body contained blood. It's as strange. But no matter how strange you are, I'm afraid you'll die under the stone dagger's attack today. Lin Feng used runes to imprison the strange book. Then, he pulled out the stone dagger. One dagger after another stabbed towards the book. Poochie! 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 A series of tearing sounds rang out incessantly. Blood continued to spurt out. However, no matter how much blood was spurted out, in the end, it was all devoured by the stone dagger. The stone dagger was really an extraordinary treasure. Lin Feng couldn't help but be astonished. Stop it! Let's talk nicely! The book cried out loudly and began to beg for mercy. It had its own life. If this continued, it would be stabbed to death by Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently. Weren't you very awesome just now? Why are you begging for mercy now? I was wrong. I didn't recognize Mount Tai and offended young master. Please spare my life. The book continued to beg. Lin Feng said indifferently. If there aren't any benefits, I won't let you live. Of course there are benefits. When the time comes, I'll acknowledge young master as my master. The book hurriedly said, afraid that Lin Feng would take its life if it spoke a minute later. What benefits? Lin Feng looked at the book and asked. The book said, Young master, have you heard of the Book of the Dead? Book of the Dead? What's that? I've never heard of it. Lin Feng couldn't help but say. This was the first time he had heard of the Book of the Dead. However, since the book mentioned the Book of the Dead at this moment, did this mean that this book was the Book of the Dead? Judging from the name, it seemed to be related to the dead. Lin Feng suddenly recalled that the demon lord had told him to use the stone dagger to deal with the book. Could it be, the demon lord had known about the book's origin long ago? Was that how he knew how to deal with the book? Lin Feng had the impression that Bestial Lord was becoming more and more mysterious. Many times, Lin Feng couldn't see through the demon lord. The book said, The Book of the Dead. It's a book that can communicate with the netherworld. Netherworld? Are you talking about the netherworld? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. The netherworld. One of the 3 supreme realms. It was a paradise for the dead. The book said, The netherworld I'm talking about is indeed in the netherworld, but it also transcends the netherworld. It's in the netherworld and transcends the netherworld? What does that mean? Lin Feng couldn't help but feel puzzled. The book said, The netherworld. It's not that simple. Young master, have you heard of the 33-layered heavens? The 33-layered heavens. Lin Feng had indeed heard of it. It referred to the celestial realm. It was said that the celestial realm was divided into 33-layered heavens, which gave birth to 33 heavenly lords. Each layered heavens represented a vast and boundless world. I've heard of it. But what does it have to do with the netherworld? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask, puzzled. The book said, It has to do with it. Of course it has to do with it. Everything in this world corresponds to each other. Thus, if there's yin, there must be yang. The celestial realm, also known as the celestial realm, represents supreme authority and the hope of immortality. It's a place filled with countless possibilities and endless hope. It's full of vitality, and countless races live there. The netherworld is the complete opposite of the celestial realm. Only dead souls visit the netherworld. The celestial realm has 33 layered heavens, and the netherworld has 33 layered heavens as well. This, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. The things he had heard today were simply too inconceivable. Lin Feng found it hard to accept. When I entered the netherworld, I didn't find the 33-layered heavens you speak of, Lin Feng said. That's because you don't have the qualifications to enter it, and you don't have the qualifications to comprehend the other netherworlds. If you want to enter the other netherworlds, you must have extremely terrifying strength to do so. The book couldn't help but say. Lin Feng's expression turned solemn because he realized this world might be even more extraordinary and mysterious than what he had seen. At the current stage, he seemed to have only seen some things on the surface, and he couldn't come into contact with anything deeper. For example, the underworld mentioned in this ancient book was actually divided into 33 layers of the underworld, and the underworld that he was familiar with, there was only one. Chapter 3476. The book continued. The netherworld I speak of is actually a special world that's connected to the 33 layers of the underworld. That world. It should be the only world that's connected to the 33 layers of the underworld at the same time. The most mysterious and unfathomable part of that world is that it's home to all sorts of terrifying undead from the 33 layers of the underworld. Many of those undead are too terrifying, and their strength is unimaginable. The Book of the Dead can summon those undead. Lin Feng couldn't help but feel shocked when he heard this. According to the Book of the Dead could summon the undead from the netherworld to help one fight against enemies. The book continued. Although the Book of the Dead can summon those dead spirits, not everyone can do it because they need to cultivate the summoning techniques recorded in the Book of the Dead. Those summoning techniques are formed from necromancy runes, and those necromancy runes aren't simple at all. Every necromancy rune hides a huge secret. Moreover, those necromancy runes are extremely strange and can affect a cultivator's thoughts. If you can't control the backlash from the necromancy runes, then you'll be controlled by the necromancy runes. Lin Feng was shocked. Those runes were truly extremely strange. He couldn't help but frown slightly. He had a feeling that the existence that spoke didn't seem to be the book's artifact spirit. Lin Feng asked. You're not the book's artifact spirit? The existence replied. It's fine to say yes, but it's also fine to say no. Why do you say that? Lin Feng asked, puzzled. The existence replied. It's fine to say yes. It's because I can't leave the Book of the Dead. It's fine to say no because I still haven't comprehended the book's profundity. Lin Feng had already guessed that the book was the Book of the Dead that the existence spoke of. Thus, Lin Feng wasn't surprised when the existence confirmed that the book was the Book of the Dead. You were a cultivator who cultivated the Book of the Dead? But in the end, you suffered a calamity and used some secret technique to attach your soul to the Book of the Dead. Is that why your soul hasn't dissipated even after countless years? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. That is indeed the case, this existence said. What's your name? Lin Feng asked. My name is Yen, the being replied. How many cultivation techniques did you learn from the Book of the Dead back then? Lin Feng asked curiously. There are several hundred summoning techniques recorded in the Book of the Dead, and each summoning technique can summon different creatures. Back then, I had only cultivated 18 summoning techniques. When I cultivated the 19th summoning technique, I suffered a backlash and ended up in this miserable state. Speaking of which, Yen, you couldn't help but sigh. Looks like this Yen is also a person with a story. However, which cultivator in the world of cultivators didn't have a story? Everyone. They were all independent individuals, independent life forms. Therefore, everyone had their own story. Yen was like this. Lin Feng was like this. It was the same for you, Simon. Thus is the Demon Lord. This was the case for countless living beings. Lin Feng flipped open the Book of the Dead. On the first page, there were 4 large, distorted words. These 4 large, blood-colored words emitted a thick stench of blood. These 4 large words were written in a language that Lin Feng didn't recognize. This should be the Netherworld language, right? It's the language of the Netherworld, and it's an extremely ancient language that has long been lost. Lin Feng was experienced and knowledgeable, so he was able to recognize the origin of these 4 words. Lin Feng stared at the Book of the Dead. However, not long after, the words Book of the Undead started emitting a strange energy. That strange energy directly enveloped Lin Feng. In that instant, Lin Feng felt as if he had fallen into an endless hell. By the time he regained his senses, Lin Feng discovered that he had actually arrived at an illusory world. Planter. In this illusory world, endless darkness enveloped heaven and earth. This world was boundless, and chilly winds blew. Turn into a member of the undead. Suddenly, a sinister and terrifying voice came from all directions. Then, a dense group of undead quickly rushed over. Among these undead, there were undead transformed from huge bone dragons that were tens of thousands of meters long, and there were also undead transformed from poisonous insects that could poison an emperor to death with a drop of venom. There were also undead transformed from humans, myriad races, starry races, demon races, devil races, and other races. So many undead, covering the sky and the sun, rushed towards Lin Feng. It enveloped heaven and earth. It was so terrifying that it made people turn pale with fright. It was truly terrifying and shocking to the extreme. Those undead seemed to want to kill Lin Feng. Humph! My heart is firm. Who can shake it? Lin Feng couldn't help but snort coldly. He closed his eyes and composed himself. Then, he suddenly opened his eyes. 2 rays of light. They shone out from his eyes. The next moment, Lin Feng found that he had returned to the real world. The dark world and the endless undead army had disappeared without a trace. What a strange Book of the Dead! It actually pulled me into a boundless illusion. Fortunately, my willpower is strong. Otherwise, I might have completely sunk into the illusion created by the Book of the Dead, unable to extricate myself. At that time, only death would await me. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. The Book of the Dead. It was indeed incomparably terrifying. Now, Lin Feng had already seen the horror of the Book of the Dead. However, although the Book of the Dead was terrifying and strange, Lin Feng wasn't worried. He had absolute confidence in himself. Lin Feng believed that he could definitely suppress the Book of the Dead. And the more terrifying and strange the Book of the Dead was, the stranger it was. This proved that the more extraordinary the summoning technique recorded in the Book of the Dead was, the more powerful the undead it could summon. Lin Feng continued to flip to the back. He saw the contents of the first page. It was densely packed with runes. Those runes should be the summoning chant recorded in the summoning technique. In addition to those runes, there were also all kinds of pictures on it. Those pictures should be related to the summoning technique, but he didn't know the specific relationship for the time being. Lin Feng put the Book of the Dead into the mountain river ring. Lin Feng would definitely cultivate the Book of the Dead in the future, but not now. Now, Lin Feng's thoughts were all on the ruler's armor. He didn't know if he could find the ruler's armor. If he found the ruler's armor, would he be recognized by the ruler's armor? And then wear the ruler's armor? 1 month later. Chapter 3477. The ruler's armor was stored by Supreme Myriad Star in an ancient star called the Baleful Yin Star. This star was surrounded by endless baleful Yin Qi. It was rumored that this star had buried too many creatures who died unjustly in the past. Therefore, the resentment of those creatures who died unjustly did not dissipate. In the end, it formed the Baleful Yin Star. Looking from afar, one could see the huge star suspended in the void, exuding a terrifying aura that could destroy heaven and earth. The entire star was shrouded in a huge destructive force. This destructive force contained an aura and fluctuation that made one's heart tremble. This destructive force was strange because it was fused with the baleful Yin Qi, so it formed a special destructive force. Lin Feng and Yu Simon flew out of the Xianyuan ancient starship. Then, Lin Feng put the Xianyuan ancient starship into the mountain river ring. "It's here!" Father said. The ruler's armor was placed in the depths of the baleful Yin Star's core. It needs the terrifying power of the baleful Yin Star to suppress the ruler's armor, Yu Simon said. I see. Let's enter the baleful star to take a look. Lin Feng could not help but say. Okay. Yu Simon nodded obediently. Then the two flew toward the baleful star. Just as they landed on the baleful star. Then, a dense crowd of evil spirits and corpses surrounded Lin Feng and Yu Simon. Lin Feng took out the ghost-raising jar. The ghost-raising jar flew into the air and began to devour the evil spirits. The evil spirits let out horrified cries and quickly retreated. However, a large number of evil spirits were still devoured by Lin Feng's ghost-raising jar. Lin Feng took out 3 stone swords and slashed at the corpses. Clang, clang, clang. A series of clanging sounds rang out. The bodies of the corpses were too hard. When the stone sword slashed on their bodies, it was unable to harm them. Roar! The dense crowd of corpses let out sharp and ear-piercing roars and continued to charge at Lin Feng and Yu Simon. These corpses' bodies are too hard. There's no need to fight these corpses head-on. Let's leave quickly. Lin Feng grabbed Yu Simon's hand and said. The most terrifying thing about corpses was not their bodies, but rather their corpse poison. The corpse's corpse poison was an incomparably strong poison. If Lin Feng were to take a hit, he had been poisoned by corpse poison. Because his physical body was strong. Perhaps it could temporarily suppress the corpse poison, and then the white jade toad would have a chance to help Lin Feng detoxify the poison. But what if Yu Simon was poisoned? With the horror of corpse poison, it was extremely likely that Yu Simon would be killed instantly. The white jade toad didn't even have a chance to attack before Yu Simon died. As such, naturally, it was not wise to fight with these corpses. After breaking away from the corpses' siege, Lin Feng and Yu Simon quickly rushed into the depths. On the baleful star, there were spirits and ghosts everywhere. They were extremely terrifying and emitted an incomparably gloomy aura that made people feel a chill down their spines. One had to be careful when moving on the baleful star. Because you didn't know when a spirit or ghost would appear beside you. If you were careless, it was very likely that he would be injured or even killed by these spirits and ghosts. Even Lin Feng had no choice but to be careful when moving on the baleful star. At night, the baleful star was even more terrifying. There were terrifying corpse emperors and ghost emperors roaming about. This caused Lin Feng to be extremely shocked. This place was truly a terrifying place. Even terrifying existences like the corpse emperor and the ghost emperor were born. It was hard to imagine. Were there other terrifying creatures born on this star? Think about it. It made people feel a sense of horror in their hearts. Look, there's a light! Suddenly, Yu Simon pointed into the distance. Lin Feng also saw the cluster of lights. Although it wasn't particularly bright, it was like the only light source in the eternal darkness. Lin Feng looked carefully and saw a cultivator holding an ancient bronze lamp. That cultivator was wearing a black robe and emitted an evil aura. However, he was a monk. Evil monk! Lin Feng frowned slightly. That was an evil monk, and his strength was extremely tyrannical. Lin Feng completely concealed his and Yu Simon's aura, not letting the evil monk discover them. Because Lin Feng felt that the evil monk was definitely a terrifying existence. If he was discovered by the evil monk, he was afraid that he wouldn't have a good ending. The densely packed spirits and ghosts pounced towards the evil monk. However, when those spirits and ghosts arrived around the evil monk, they all let out terrified cries and quickly left. The evil monk, on the other hand, let out a sinister laugh. Very quickly, the evil monk disappeared without a trace. The ancient bronze lamp in his hand is very extraordinary. It scared away those spirits and ghosts, Yu Simon said. Lin Feng nodded. The next day, Lin Feng saw more than a dozen ancient monks descend on this star. Those ancient monks split up and seemed to be searching for the whereabouts of the evil monk. It seems that the evil monk was chased all the way by that group of enlightened monks and finally entered this place, Yu Simon said. Lin Feng said. Those monks might want to clean up the sect. Buddhism was good and merciful. And that evil monk was so evil. He must be a traitor of Buddhism. A force like Buddhism that valued its reputation so much would definitely not let a traitor like the evil monk live in this world. Of course. Perhaps there were other reasons, but this was not something that Lin Feng could know. When passing through a mountain range, an enlightened monk arrived. His body was surrounded by endless Buddhist light. The yin spirits and ghosts that rushed over from all directions were all intimidated by the enlightened monk. They didn't dare to approach. "It shouldn't be too far from here," the enlightened monk muttered to himself. Crack! Suddenly, the void behind the enlightened monk cracked open. Then, an endless amount of evil light surged out. That terrifying evil monk. He quickly flew out. He sent a palm strike towards the senior monk who had achieved the Tao. "You!" The enlightened monk was shocked and hastily blocked the evil monk's attack. However, he was no match for the evil monk and was sent flying by the evil monk. "Huiyan! It's not too late for you to turn back now." The enlightened monk who was injured by the sneak attack spat out blood and shouted in a deep voice. "Hee! Senior brother Hui Ming! Junior brother's Tao is destined to be invincible. Why should I turn back? To me, the ancient Buddha lamp is just like a cage. I, your junior brother, will never go back. Today I, your junior brother, will send you to paradise early." The evil monk laughed sinisterly, and then rushed towards the enlightened monk. The enlightened monk was seriously injured. So, he was no match for the evil monk. The two sides only fought for 3 rounds before the enlightened monk was killed by the evil monk. The evil monk took out a ball of evil fire and wrapped the enlightened monk's body. Soon, the enlightened monk's body was burned to ashes, leaving only a dozen drops of fat floating in the air. Chapter 3478. The so-called Buddha fat was the fat extracted from the body of a Buddhist monk. Rumor has it that the Buddha fat has endless magical uses. For example, calming the qi, helping people comprehend the Tao, dispelling ghosts, and so on. There were too many uses for the Buddha fat. The effect was amazing. Therefore, in the world of cultivators, many cultivators liked to hunt Buddhist monks. Purpose: it was to refine the Buddha fat in the bodies of these Buddhist monks. And on the black market, a drop of Buddha fat could be sold for a sky-high price of 10 immortal stones. Moreover, the Buddha fat was still priceless. TSK, not bad, not bad. To be able to refine a dozen drops of Buddha fat, it's really a big harvest. The evil monk couldn't help but reveal a smile. He waved his hand. All of a sudden, all the Buddha fat flew into the ancient bronze lamp in the evil monk's hand. Lin Feng and Yu Simon, who were hiding in the dark, saw this scene. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. The evil monk's ancient bronze lamp turned out to be Buddha fat. This evil monk used the Buddha fat as fuel, igniting the ancient bronze lamp. It seemed the evil monk should have killed a lot of enlightened monks over the years. The evil monk continued to walk deeper into the cave. After arriving here, the evil monk seemed to have found something special. He had been frowning and thinking about something. It was just that Lin Feng wasn't sure if the special place he found had something to do with the Dominator's armor. The evil monk is very scary. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath and say, "Perhaps this evil monk's cultivation was much stronger than he had imagined." Yu Simon said, "Fortunately, this evil monk hasn't found us yet. This guy is so ruthless. If he finds us, he definitely won't let us go easily." Lin Feng nodded. What Yu Simon said was exactly what he was worried about. The evil monk, this terrifying creature, made Lin Feng extremely fearful. If he was discovered by the evil monk would kill him. If I can find the Dominator's armor and wear it, then I will definitely be able to contend against this evil monk. Lin Feng couldn't help but think. Now he was more and more impatient to find the Dominator's armor. Lin Feng and Yu Simon quickly headed deeper into the forest. They were gradually approaching the depths of the baleful Yin Star. On the 5th night after arriving at the baleful Yin Star, Lin Feng and Yu Simon were attacked by 2 corpse emperors. These 2 corpse emperors were simply terrifying to an unimaginable degree. His combat strength was extremely strong. It could be said to be heaven-defying. Most importantly, their physical bodies were simply too strong. The two corpse emperors had refined their bodies into the most powerful magic treasures. Clang, clang, clang! A series of collision sounds were heard. Lin Feng's 3 stone swords collided with the 2 great emperors' corpses. However, it couldn't break through the defenses of the 2 corpse emperors. Their bodies were so strong that even Lin Feng was aghast. Experts fall and become corpses. They awaken their spiritual awareness and cultivate the great Tao. They enter the Tao with their bodies and cultivate the Vajra indestructible body. Lin Feng's expression was very serious. The 2 corpse emperors were now equivalent to invincible Vajra bodies. This battle was extremely intense. Lin Feng and Yu Simon encountered danger several times and almost died under the attacks of the 2 corpse emperors. Fortunately, Lin Feng's battle strength was extremely strong and blocked the terrifying attacks of the 2 corpse emperors. He successfully brought Yu Simon away from the pursuit of the 2 corpse emperors. They had just landed in the forest. A dense barrage of arrows shot over. Every single arrow contained a destructive power that could destroy heaven and earth. A light strike. It could shatter the void. The power was unbelievably strong. So many arrows surrounded Lin Feng and Yu Simon. The person who attacked clearly wanted to kill the 2 of them directly. Humph! Lin Feng couldn't help but snort coldly. With a wave of his hand, the surrounding space couldn't help but distort. This was the use of the Tao of space. Lin Feng used the Tao of space to distort the surrounding space. When the dense barrage of arrows shot over, all of them entered the distorted space. Then, those arrows flew out from the void. However, those arrows weren't aimed at Lin Feng and Yu Simon. They were aimed at the people who were hiding in the surrounding forest and shooting arrows. Puff! 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 At this moment, the sound of tearing could not help but be heard. One by one, the cultivators' bodies were torn apart. Some died miserably on the spot, while others were only injured. Who is it? Get out here! Lin Feng shouted coldly, his eyes flashing with killing intent. So. At this moment, one figure after another quickly flew out. Those cultivators were all wearing the attire of the evil demon bandit group. They were actually from the evil demon bandit group. It was truly a narrow road for enemies. Previously, Lin Feng had killed the young leader of the evil demon bandit group, Xie Duanhuan. The evil demon bandit group had even issued a warrant for Lin Feng. But many years had passed. Lin Feng was still living a carefree life. And for a very long time, Lin Feng and the evil demon bandit group did not have any more interactions. But he never thought that he would actually see people from the evil demon bandit group here today. Kid! Young Master Xie Duanhuan was killed by you, right? The middle-aged cultivator and the lead looked at Lin Feng with a dense killing intent in his eyes. It was obvious that this person had already recognized Lin Feng's identity. Lin Feng said indifferently, "This guy recklessly came to find trouble with me, so what if I killed him? As the bandits of the starry sky world, don't you know that the weak are prey to the strong, and the survival of the fittest?" Xie Duanhuan wanted to kill people and steal their treasures, but in the end, he was killed. He can only blame himself for not being skilled enough to cause all of this. The middle-aged cultivator's expression was indifferent. What Lin Feng said was indeed very reasonable. However, so what? The leader was furious because of Xie Duanhuan's death. And the arrest warrant had not been revoked until now. Whoever killed Lin Feng would be able to obtain a generous reward. The people of the evil demon bandit group were also extremely moved. Furthermore, it was rumored that Lin Feng had many magic treasures, top-notch sacred arts, 3,000 great Tao, and countless wealth. It was enough to make these bandits go crazy. The middle-aged cultivator laughed sinisterly. "I do not refute what you said. When you are killed by me later, you can only blame yourself for not having enough cultivation. The world of cultivators is cruel to begin with. Are you ready to die?" The middle-aged cultivator waved his hand, and the 200 or so cultivators of the evil demon bandit group quickly surrounded Lin Feng and Yu Simon. Then, these cultivators took out their own magic treasure. One magic treasure after another shook the air, emitting an incomparably terrifying aura. The Dharma treasures shook the void slightly. Chapter 3479. These people wanted to besiege Lin Feng. This was the easiest and simplest way to kill Lin Feng. Killing Lin Feng was their ultimate goal. Therefore, they didn't care if besieging Lin Feng wasn't honorable enough. Do you have any last wishes before you die? If you say it now, you might have a chance to fulfill them. If you don't say it, you can only enter hell with these last wishes. The middle-aged cultivator looked at Lin Feng indifferently and asked. Lin Feng pursed his lips and said, I think you should say this to yourself. Kid, you're too arrogant. But soon you'll know how stupid and laughable your arrogance is. As soon as he finished speaking, the middle-aged cultivator waved his hand. After receiving the order, the other cultivators of the evil fiend bandits all attacked Lin Feng and Yu Simon. Buzz! 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 Powerful Dharma treasures vibrated and released extremely terrifying energy waves. Then, those powerful Dharma treasures quickly attacked Lin Feng and Yu Simon. Just as they were about to hit the two of them, Lin Feng directly took out the supreme treasure, the heaven-devouring jar. Ever since he had fused with another fragment, the power of the heaven-devouring jar had increased greatly. Now that Lin Feng took out the heaven-devouring jar, it evolved into a huge black hole. Waves of terrifyingly powerful devouring power surged out from the heaven-devouring jar. The Dharma treasures that were attacking Lin Feng and Yu Simon flew uncontrollably toward the heaven-devouring jar. Damn it, what happened? Many cultivators couldn't help but exclaim. When the middle-aged cultivator saw this, he couldn't help but shout in a deep voice. It's that strange Dharma treasure. Hurry up and retrieve your Dharma treasures. Many cultivators began to retrieve their Dharma treasures in a flurry. However, many people's movements were a step too slow. Those powerful Dharma treasures were directly devoured by Lin Feng's heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar then erased the spiritual will imprints that the cultivators had left in the magic treasures. Many people suffered from the backlash and couldn't help but scream. Those cultivators whose spiritual sense imprints were erased by the heaven-swallowing jar were as pale as a sheet of paper. His combat strength plummeted. Of course, there were also quite a few cultivators who managed to summon their magic treasures back. Lin Feng had the heaven-swallowing jar, an extremely strange treasure that could swallow all kinds of magic treasures. The rest of the people naturally did not dare to continue using their magic treasures to deal with Lin Feng. Therefore, those cultivators wanted to put away their magic treasures. Then, he would use his divine ability to deal with Lin Feng. Army Mantra! Weapon Control Art! Just as the magic treasures flew to their respective owners and were about to be collected by them, a voice suddenly rang out. Lin Feng, on the other hand, used the Bing Mantra. The Army Mantra was powerful because it could not only release the power of one's magic treasure. It could also forcibly seize control of other people's magic treasures. Now that Lin Feng used the Army Mantra, he immediately seized control of those cultivators' magic treasures. One by one, the powerful magic treasures charged towards their original owners. No! Those people screamed in horror. They didn't even know what was going on. Then, the magic treasures that originally belonged to them had already started attacking them. Because the distance was too close. Those cultivators had no time to dodge. Poochie! 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 Tearing sounds could be heard incessantly. One cultivator after another was killed by their own magic treasures. Those cultivators who didn't die were so frightened that their faces turned pale. They quickly retreated and distanced themselves from Lin Feng. This kid knows sorcery! Someone shouted in horror and looked at Lin Feng with eyes full of fear. Don't shake people's hearts! This kid doesn't cultivate sorcery at all! It's the legendary Army Mantra! The middle-aged cultivator was experienced and knowledgeable. He recognized Lin Feng's ultimate move and couldn't help but say in a low voice to calm the crowd. What? Army mantra? One of the 9 secrets of Taoism, the army mantra? Many people suddenly exclaimed. The 9 secrets of Taoism were too famous. Lin Army Doge advance in groups. Each of the 9 secrets contained endless wonders. Those who obtained one would benefit immensely. Lin Feng had obtained the army mantra a long time ago. Lin Feng's high comprehension was inseparable from the army mantra. Later on, Lin Feng obtained the army mantra. Cultivating it played an extremely important role for Lin Feng. Because the army mantra could release the power of many magic treasures. If he didn't have the army mantra, Lin Feng could only deal with Emperor Realm cultivators. However, after cultivating the army mantra, Lin Feng could kill some Emperor Realm cultivators. This was the biggest difference. The 9 secrets of Taoism were too powerful. It was a supreme technique that countless cultivators coveted. The cultivators of the Fiend Bandits had been fascinated by the 9 secret mantra for a long time. Now that they heard the middle-aged cultivators say that Lin Feng had just used the army mantra of the 9 secret mantra, everyone couldn't help but feel a huge shock in their hearts. Although this kid's army mantra is powerful, we don't have to fear this kid's army mantra at all if we don't use magic treasures. If we kill this kid, not only will we get a lot of rewards from the leader, we will also get all of this kid's magic treasures, divine abilities, 3,000 great das, and so on. Everyone, use your divine abilities together and kill this kid! The middle-aged cultivator shouted sternly. He looked at Lin Feng as if he was looking at a dead man. The middle-aged cultivator was an Emperor Realm expert called Su Yang. This person was the 9th deputy leader of the Fiend Bandits. Inside the Fiend Bandits, his status was extraordinary. Then let's do it. I can't wait to kill this kid! Immediately, a cultivator said. Originally, there were more than 200 cultivators, but nearly half of them had been killed in the previous wave of attacks. However, among these cultivators who had not died, there were also many experts. Other than Su Yang, who was at the Emperor Realm. There were also 2 immortal emperors and 4 divine emperors. The rest were also at the quasi-emperor realm. With so many experts joining forces, naturally, they were full of confidence. Kid, you can die now! A cold voice suddenly sounded. Su Yang was the first to attack Lin Feng. Su Yang condensed a 3-colored energy ball. The 3-colored energy ball distorted space and time. Its power was extremely terrifying. The others also condensed powerful divine abilities. Chapter 3480. The attack torrent formed by hundreds of cultivators was naturally very terrifying. However, although this attack torrent was terrifying, it also depended on who they were facing. When the other party's attack came, Lin Feng directly took out the mysterious Heaven Treasure Pagoda. The Emperor-level defensive magic treasure flew out and cast down a defensive light barrier, protecting Lin Feng and Yu Simon. At the same time, Lin Feng summoned a swarm of great desolate demon refining insects. The swarm of great desolate demon refining insects emitted an extremely terrifying fluctuation. These great desolate demon refining insects' attack power was extremely strong. In addition to their astonishing defense, they could also release sound wave attacks and contain poison. They were simply invincible. These people besieged Lin Feng. However, Lin Feng used the great desolate demon refining insects to deal with the evil devil bandits. This was the simplest way to deal with the evil devil bandits' cultivators. Since there was such a simple way to deal with the evil devil bandits' cultivators, naturally, there was no need to use some more troublesome methods. The defensive system formed by the mysterious Heaven Treasure Pagoda directly blocked the attack of the other party's Long River. Then, the swarm of great desolate demon refining insects quickly rushed to the front of the group of evil devil bandits cultivators. They launched an incomparably ferocious attack on the group of cultivators. Miserable screams could be heard incessantly. After the cultivators were attacked by a large number of great desolate demon refining insects, they all suffered extremely serious injuries. The bodies of those cultivators were eaten clean by the great desolate demon refining insects, turning into a pile of white bones. Only the 7 great emperors temporarily blocked the attack of the great desolate demon refining insects. Run! Hurry up and run! The great emperor-level cultivators shouted sternly. Their expressions were filled with incomparable fear. The swarm of great desolate demon refining insects was simply too terrifying, causing them to be on the verge of despair. The 7 great emperors blocked the attacks of the great desolate demon refining insects while fleeing into the distance. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! But at this moment, 3 stone swords cut through the void. They instantly caught up to the 3 great emperor-level cultivators. Puff! Puff! With the sound of tearing, the bodies of the 3 great emperor-level cultivators were directly torn apart. Then, they died tragically on the spot. The next moment, the 3 great emperors were devoured by the swarm of chaos demon refining insects. After killing the 3 great emperors, the 3 stone swords continued flying towards the other 3 great emperors. The other 3 great emperors were dealing with the crazy attacks of the ancient desolate demon refining insects. Therefore, he was unable to deal with the stone sword's attack. No! When the stone sword slashed down, the 3 great emperor-level cultivators seemed to know their fate, so they couldn't help but cry out in fear. The next moment, Poochie! 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 3 consecutive ripping sounds were heard. 3 stone swords pierced through the chests of the 3 emperors. The 3 great emperors looked at the bloody holes in their chests. Their blood continued to gush out. They felt their bodies become colder and colder, and their consciousness became more and more blurry. What kind of demon did we provoke? The 3 great emperors murmured. Then, their bodies fell to the ground from the sky. However, before the 3 great emperors could fall to the ground, their bodies fell to the ground. The 3 great emperors' bodies were already devoured by the chaos demon refining insects. Lin Feng personally walked towards Su Yang, his eyes flashing with killing intent. Are you ready to die? Lin Feng's cold voice suddenly sounded, like the voice of death from hell. Su Yang looked at Lin Feng, who was walking towards him step by step, and his expression was extremely ugly. Although he was an emperor-level expert, he was now surrounded by Lin Feng's chaos demon refining insects. Su Yang tried many times to break free but failed. Therefore, Su Yang knew. The situation today was extremely bad. Everyone had underestimated Lin Feng's strength. Although Lin Feng was young, he was too terrifying. If they underestimated Lin Feng's strength, they would end up in an incomparably miserable state. Sir, do you really want to kill us all? Su Yang said with a gloomy expression. If you let me live, I can swear that I won't find trouble with you in the future. Lin Feng could not help but sneer. You have to be punished after doing something wrong. Do you think that I'll let you go just because you're begging for mercy? You must be dreaming. 9 heavens 10 earths. I, the unique and righteous. Lin Feng shouted coldly and performed this peerless technique. This was a supreme divine ability passed down from the last era. Its might was so great that it was simply shocking. I'll fight you to the death. Su Yang could not help but roar. Then, he threw a punch at Lin Feng. Bang! Along with the violent collision, Lin Feng and Su Yang collided violently. Kacha 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 sounds of bones cracking could be heard. Who knew how many bones in his body were broken? Barf! Su Yang spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His face was as pale as paper. Lin Feng quickly rushed forward and performed the Great Suppression Technique, one of the 3,000 Great Das. He suppressed Su Yang in midair. Spare me! Spare me! As long as you spare me, I'm willing to do anything for you. Su Yang looked at Lin Feng in horror and begged loudly. He did not want to die. He wanted to live. This world was filled with too many temptations. Therefore, this world was too tempting. No one was willing to die. Once they died, everything would be for naught. Their past efforts. They would turn into smoke. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He did not care about Su Yang's begging. The Fiend Bandit Group was a heinous and notorious bandit group. Countless innocent people had been killed by the fiend bandit group. Therefore, people like Su Yang did not deserve sympathy at all. Lin Feng grabbed Su Yang's head with his right hand. Then, he performed the soul-searching technique on Su Yang. All kinds of memories flooded in. Most of these memories were of bloody massacres. The more Lin Feng looked, the gloomier his expression became. This Su Yang had killed countless people. Even if he died 10,000 times, it would not be a pity. Lin Feng skimmed through many unimportant memories and found the supernatural powers that Su Yang cultivated. Su Yang cultivated a total of 1,500 kinds of supernatural powers. Among them, he cultivated 152 kinds of supernatural powers of the 3,000 Great Das. However, what made Lin Feng rather depressed was that Su Yang had cultivated all 152 kinds of the 3,000 Great Das. This is... Suddenly, Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. In Su Yang's memory, Lin Feng found a memory. Chapter 3481. This memory. It was the memory of the Stone of Time. The Stone of Time was a mysterious stone that could change the flow of time. This kind of stone was extremely rare. It was said that it was a kind of stone that was born during the evolution of the era. In the past, it was much rarer than the Chaos Stone. This kind of stone could change the flow of time. Whether it was forging a powerful magic treasure or forging a cultivation space that could change time, this stone could play an extremely crucial role. Therefore, this stone was extremely important to cultivators. Once word got out, it would definitely cause a storm of blood. This stone was so extraordinary. After Lin Feng found out about the extraordinariness of this Stone of Time, he couldn't help but be extremely shocked and moved. And the location of this incomparably precious Stone of Time was this baleful Een Star. The cultivators of the evil demon bandit group entered the baleful Een Star to search for the Stone of Time. Originally, the cultivators of the evil demon bandit group came in together. But in order to find the Stone of Time as soon as possible. So these people eventually split up. Stone of Time! Stone of Time! There was actually such a treasure here! Lin Feng's face revealed an incomparably astonished expression. If he could obtain such an extraordinary treasure like the Stone of Time, it would be of great use to Lin Feng. At that time, Lin Feng would be able to use the Stone of Time to construct a time-space. If he wanted to cultivate in seclusion, he could enter the time-space to cultivate. Within the time-space, he could change the flow of time. Once he entered the time-space, a short period of time had passed in the outside world. And an extremely long period of time had passed in the time-space. In this way, Lin Feng's cultivation time could be greatly shortened. Right now, what Lin Feng lacked the most was time. Whether it was to rescue his mother or to fight against the world extermination battle, they were all urgent matters. However, there were many things that could not be rushed, and cultivation also required time. Now, Lin Feng saw hope. After Lin Feng obtained some of the memories he wanted with the soul-searching technique, he killed Su Yang with a single palm strike. The ambitious and ruthless person of a generation who dominated the star field was killed by Lin Feng just like that. Lin Feng took Su Yang's storage ring and source. Next. Then, he stored the prehistoric demon refining insect into his mountain river ring. Then, Lin Feng and Yu Simon left together. Not long after, Lin Feng saw some cultivators from other forces arrive. Lin Feng had no idea what the other party's background was. Lin Feng and Yu Simon did not appear in front of those cultivators. Looks like they're all here for the Stone of Time. Lin Feng couldn't help but think of a certain possibility, then frowned slightly. The implications of the Stone of Time were too great. Once the news spread out, it would indeed attract many powerful forces. Perhaps before the experts of the evil demon bandits arrived, the news of the Stone of Time had already been known by some of the top forces. However, the evil devil bandits were the first group of cultivators to arrive. After the arrival of the cultivators from the evil demon bandits, the cultivators from the other forces arrived one after another. The cultivators that Lin Feng saw from the other forces basically came to the Unveil star after the arrival of the evil demon bandits. Now, the cultivators that came to the Unveil star were not just one wave. After encountering each other, cultivators from different forces began to fight. The battle could be said to be extremely intense. Lin Feng and Yu Simon saw the great battle between the cultivators. Many people died in the great battle. Lin Feng and Yu Simon had always been watching the show. On this day, an earth-shaking sound came from the depths of the Unveil star. It was like the sound of the Tao, resounding through the clouds. When they heard that sound, all the cultivators on the Unveil star were alarmed. That sound was simply too mysterious. It contained the sound of the great Tao. It was not an ordinary sound. Listen carefully. It was like the sound of a bell being rung. "Let's go and take a look." Cultivators' voices of wild joy could be heard from all directions. Other than the evil monks and the Buddhist monks, the cultivators who came here. Basically, they were all here for the Stone of Time. Now, there was a change in the Unveil star. Was it because the Stone of Time was about to appear? If that was the case, it would definitely cause a bloody battle. Lin Feng and Yu Simon did not stop either. Their speed was extremely fast. They quickly walked towards the depths. The sound of the Tao bell did not last particularly long. It did not take long. The sound of the Tao bell disappeared. However, many cultivators had already locked onto the location of the Tao bell. 3 days later, the sound of the Tao bell rang again. Lin Feng could not help but mutter. Was the sound of the Tao bell emitted by a great Tao divine bell? If such a supreme treasure was present, it would be extremely extraordinary. Was the Stone of Time also in the place where the Tao bell was? If the sound of the Tao bell was not emitted by the great Tao divine bell, it might be the sound of the Tao that was caused by an unknown reason. And this sound of the Tao shook the clouds. It spread very far. Although they did not know the exact reason, but something extraordinary was about to happen. When the sound of the Tao bell rang again, more and more cultivators felt that a great opportunity was about to arrive. Even Lin Feng thought so. Lin Feng and Yu Simon increased their speed. They continued to fly in the direction of the Tao bell. 5 days later, above a huge mountain range, a large number of cultivators had gathered. These cultivators were divided into several waves of forces. There was a wave of cultivators that consisted of 9 monks. Although there were few of them, but each of them was powerful. Those monks were the Buddhist experts who had entered the Unveil star to surround and kill the evil monks. Later on, they heard about the Stone of Time. Therefore, they could not hold back. They also came to look for the Stone of Time. The second wave of forces that Lin Feng recognized were the forces of the evil demon bandits. The evil demon bandits. There were many experts. However, Lin Feng did not see the leader of the evil demon bandits. He did not know if the leader of the evil demon bandits did not come to the Unveil star. There were also cultivators from 7 or 8 forces. However, Lin Feng did not know those people. He did not know where they came from. However, Lin Feng had seen some cultivators from those forces engage in an extremely tragic battle. Many people had also died in the previous battle. So many experts had arrived. However, they did not take action. Everyone was still waiting for a good opportunity to arrive. Lin Feng looked at the mountain range in front of him. That mountain range. It was shrouded in grayish-brown fog. It emitted a cold and terrifying aura. The entire mountain range was enveloped by powerful restrictions. After sensing the power of those restrictions, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. The restrictions on that mountain range were too powerful. Even he could not help but feel a dangerous aura. 6 hours later, the Tao bell rang again. Everyone's spirits couldn't help but tremble slightly. Everyone's gazes were fixed on this ancient mountain range. Was something going to happen to this mountain range? Chapter 3482. The sound of the Tao bell rang out incessantly, shaking the void. It resounded through the clouds. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the depths of the mountain range. Crack! Crack! The mountain range's restriction began to crack. Many people were overjoyed. As long as the mountain range's restriction was opened, everyone would be able to enter to search for opportunities. As for who would obtain the final opportunity, that would depend on their own abilities. Roar! Suddenly, a loud dragon roar resounded through the clouds. A huge dragon soared into the sky from the depths of the mountain range. On the dragon's back, there was an immortal stone. That immortal stone was surrounded by endless immortal light. That immortal stone seemed to be an eternal stone. It was surrounded by endless mysterious power. Giant dragon stone! Soaring to the 9 heavens! Someone exclaimed as he looked at the scene that appeared in the sky in shock. This was definitely an extraordinary phenomenon. Someone said with a trembling voice. That stone on the dragon's back. Could it be the legendary Stone of Time? As soon as this was said, it was simply setting off 1,000 waves. The Stone of Time was a supreme treasure that countless people coveted. It could change the flow of time. Such a supreme treasure was enough to make countless people go crazy. And now, so many experts had taken the risk to enter the baleful Star in order to fight for the Stone of Time. If the immortal stone on the dragon's back was the Stone of Time, it would definitely cause a bloody battle later. The dragon carried the immortal stone and rushed into the depths of the mountain range, disappearing without a trace. Everyone was very anxious, hoping that the mountain range's restriction would dissipate quickly so that they could search for the Stone of Time. However, this kind of thing was useless even if they were anxious. Everyone could only wait patiently. Among these people, the one who was the least anxious was probably Lin Feng, because there were only 2 people on Lin Feng's side. Moreover, Simon's cultivation wasn't strong. If they really fought, Lin Feng still had to take care of Simon. So, Lin Feng planned to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. If there was a chance, he would go and snatch the Stone of Time. After waiting for 3 hours, finally, the mountain range's restriction dissipated. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, one figure after another soared into the sky and rushed into the depths of the mountain range. These cultivators from the major factions couldn't wait any longer and went to look for time stones. Lin Feng and Simon only entered the mountain range after everyone else had entered. When they arrived at the central region of the mountain range, Lin Feng suddenly felt that something was wrong. A cold and terrifying aura enveloped Lin Feng's body. That aura made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. That aura was extremely terrifying. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. Be careful! Why do I feel like something's not right? Lin Feng looked around warily. The surrounding forest exuded a gloomy and cold aura. But other than that, Lin Feng didn't find anything strange. Ah! Suddenly, an incomparably shrill scream came from the front. A cultivator was silently met with disaster. After the blood-curdling scream, his body quickly fell to the ground from midair. What happened? Many people couldn't help but reveal a horrified expression. No one knew what was going on. A cultivator with a formidable cultivation base had already met with a calamity. The situation was too strange, causing everyone to feel a sense of horror. Everyone rushed towards that cultivator. Some people went to check on that cultivator's condition. But they found nothing. They couldn't find any injuries on that cultivator's body. That cultivator's death was simply too bizarre, causing quite a bit of panic. This place is too strange. They died without a sound, without any wounds. Could it be that they were cursed? Is that why they lost their lives? Someone said. The cause of that cultivator's death was attributed to the curse. Once a cultivator was cursed, then anything could happen to them. Many people like to push some unknown things to curses. Ah! At this time, another scream came from another direction. Naturally, not all the cultivators went to check on that cultivator's death. Only a small portion of the cultivators went to check on that cultivator's death. Most of the cultivators chose to continue heading deeper. And the cultivator who died this time was a cultivator who chose to continue heading deeper. Many people were alarmed. This was the second cultivator to die. Even the cultivators who didn't care about the first cultivator's death. At this time, they couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. They sensed that something was wrong. Many people rushed towards the second cultivator who died. Someone checked on that cultivator's death. However, there were still no clues. Just like the first cultivator who died just now. His entire body. There were no wounds. They couldn't find the cause of death. His death was simply too bizarre. Because of that, many people still thought that this cultivator died from the curse. Only with such an explanation could they feel a bit more assured. We have our ways to counter the curse. We don't need to fear the power of the curse, someone said. They were very confident in themselves. However, very quickly, another cultivator died. One cultivator after another died here, causing many cultivators to think of retreating. We'll make a decision after we leave this place, a cultivator said in a low voice. They didn't want to take any more risks in this cursed place. They wanted to leave this place to discuss their next move. However, those cultivators who wanted to leave weren't able to leave so easily. All of them were met with disaster. After screaming in pain, their bodies fell from the sky, dying a strange and tragic death. We're trapped here, the curse here wants to kill all of us, someone said in fear. Humph! Don't try to scare us. You're just messing with our hearts, a cultivator couldn't help but coldly say. A cold glint appeared in his eyes. Not everyone believed in the so-called curse. Many people felt that there must be a reason for those people's deaths, and it wasn't the so-called curse. Lin Feng crouched down in front of a body to check. He couldn't help but frown. How did this cultivator die? It was too strange. No wonder so many people thought that these cultivators were cursed to death, because they couldn't find any clues. So, they could only blame these people's deaths on the curse. But Lin Feng felt that these people didn't die from the curse. It was just that he couldn't find the cause of their deaths. Suddenly, at that moment, Lin Feng sensed a gloomy and cold chi moving towards him. Normal people might not be able to sense this cold aura. But Lin Feng's perception was too strong. Chapter 3483. Lin Feng had already felt this gloomy and cold aura not long after entering this mountain range. However, now this gloomy and cold aura had become extremely targeted. It seemed to be specifically targeted at Lin Feng. Lin Feng also felt this. And Lin Feng's reaction was extremely fast. When that gloomy and cold aura quickly approached him, Lin Feng directly used the Tao of space. The void within 1 meter of him seemed to have completely turned into a quagmire. It was simply impossible to move an inch. Chi! Just at this moment, a tearing sound resounded. It seemed that something had rushed into the outer area of Lin Feng that had turned into a quagmire of void. There really is something hidden in the void. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. Previously, he had his suspicions about this, but after searching for a while, he didn't find anything. So Lin Feng felt that he might be too sensitive? But now, Lin Feng had found evidence to prove that there was indeed something hidden in the void. Lin Feng's divine telekinesis swept out and began to search for the thing that was imprisoned. Originally, his divine telekinesis couldn't find that thing at all. But now, after that thing was imprisoned, its body couldn't move at all. The difficulty of searching greatly reduced. Therefore, when Lin Feng's divine telekinesis swept out, he really found that thing. When Lin Feng saw clearly what that thing was, his face suddenly revealed an extremely shocked expression. It was a spider the size of a fingernail. But that spider was incomparably strange. That spider was completely transparent. Its body was the best protection. That spider was able to rely on the advantage of its body. It could easily hide itself completely in the void. Moreover, it was guaranteed that no one else could see it. That spider's movement speed was extremely fast, coupled with its ability to hide its aura. Therefore, even if a cultivator used divine telekinesis to search, there were no clues. Lin Feng lightly pointed at that spider. Poof! A cold light instantly pierced through that spider's body. That spider was killed. Transparent blood flowed out of his body. However, the transparent blood dripped onto the ground. Sizzling sounds could be heard from the ground. The rocks began to burn intensely. In an instant, a huge hole was corroded out. The transparent spiders were obviously poisonous. Everyone, be careful! It's a type of transparent spider that silently killed off these cultivators. It's not the so-called curse, Lin Feng said. He pulled Yu Simon to his side and protected her. As for reminding others, Lin Feng also had his own selfish motives. Although these people were competing with him for the Stone of Time, Lin Feng felt that it wouldn't be easy to obtain the Stone of Time. Perhaps there were even more dangerous things waiting for everyone in the deeper regions. And these people. It was a good opportunity to draw away the danger. At the bottom of the abyss. It seemed to be the dragon's resting place. Quickly retreat! Seeing the dragon's huge body rushing out from the bottom of the abyss, many people couldn't help but change their expressions and quickly retreat. They didn't dare to get close to the dragon, because the dragon's aura was too terrifying. Everyone was worried that if they got too close to the dragon, they would be attacked by the dragon. If they were attacked by the dragon, it would be a devastating blow. It was very likely that he would die here. However, what surprised everyone was that the dragon didn't attack anyone. The dragon, Tuashur, soared into the sky. Then, it circled around a 10,000-meter tall mountain peak. The dragon's huge body landed on the mountain peak. Then, the dragon's body wrapped around the mountain peak. Finally, the dragon. It turned into a stone dragon. And on top of the stone dragon's head stood an immortal stone. Chapter 3484. I can feel the power of time from that immortal stone. That's right. I can also feel the power of time. It seems that immortal stone must be the legendary Stone of Time. After seeing the immortal stone standing on top of the stone dragon's head, many people couldn't help but say excitedly. Originally, many people thought that the Stone of Time wasn't particularly big. Maybe it was just a small piece. But after seeing the Stone of Time, they realized that the Stone of Time was actually so big. Looking at the shape, the Stone of Time was oval. It should be about 100 meters high. And its diameter was also about 100 meters. Such a large Stone of Time was definitely extremely rare. If they could get this Stone of Time, it would be too heaven-defying. It was definitely an unimaginable opportunity. Many people were peeping at the Stone of Time. Finally, someone couldn't hold back and quickly flew towards the Stone of Time. This cultivator was an expert from the evil demon bandit group, called Guitianyu. This person's cultivation was abnormally strong. He was an emperor-level expert. He was the 8th deputy leader of the evil demon bandit group. His status was respected. In the Starry Sky world, he was also a very famous expert. This person made a move. Naturally, it attracted many people's attention. Many cultivators looked at Guitianyu. They were wondering if Guitianyu could successfully collect the Stone of Time. If he failed, the cultivators of the other forces would naturally try it themselves. If Guitianyu succeeded, at that time, they would surround him. If they attacked the evil demon bandit group and Guitianyu, they wouldn't be afraid that Guitianyu wouldn't hand over the Stone of Time. So many people had already made their own wishful thinking. But since Guitianyu dared to make a move, if he really got the Stone of Time, he might have a way to escape. Guitianyu was quickly approaching the Stone of Time. As he got closer to the Stone of Time, Guitianyu's expression became more and more dignified. This was because Guitianyu felt a terrifying force acting on his body. That terrifying force was preventing him from moving forward. Guitianyu suddenly sneered out loud. It's ridiculous. You want to stop me from moving forward? It's simply a daydream. Today, the Stone of Time, I must get it. Guitianyu was an extremely conceited person. So he was extremely confident in his own means. He believed that with the many means he had mastered, he would definitely be able to obtain the Stone of Time. Of course, it was good to be confident. However, when one was overconfident, it might turn into arrogance. Just like Guitianyu now. He was extremely confident. However, he was a little too confident. When he was 50 meters away from the Stone of Time, his body suffered a calamity. Guitianyu's lifespan was rapidly depleting. The Time Stone was actually plundering Guitianyu's lifespan. Ah! Guitianyu roared and rushed forward. He wanted to collect the Stone of Time as quickly as possible. But at this moment, the Stone of Time shot out a terrifying beam of light. That beam of light headed straight for Guitianyu. It was so powerful. People couldn't help but be aghast. What a powerful attack! Lin Feng's expression changed slightly when he sensed the terrifying power of the Stone of Time's attack. The attack of the Stone of Time was simply too powerful. He wanted to fight. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Of course, Guitianyu's cultivation was also extremely tyrannical. Perhaps Guitianyu had some extraordinary means to resist the attack of the Stone of Time? This was also something that was very likely to happen. At this time, the Stone of Time's attack had already arrived in front of Guitianyu. Guitianyu's expression changed slightly. He hurriedly used a divine ability to resist the attack of the Stone of Time. The divine ability that Guitianyu used was called 10,000 feet to heaven. It evolved a path to heaven and directly suppressed the attack of the Stone of Time, trying to destroy the attack of the Stone of Time. However, the power of the Stone of Time's attack was simply too tyrannical. It actually destroyed Guitianyu's divine ability. Then, that beam of light continued to blast towards Guitianyu. Not good. Guitianyu's expression changed greatly. He quickly dodged, trying to avoid the attack of the beam of light. However, Guitianyu failed. He was swept by the terrifying beam of light. With a bang, Guitianyu's body directly exploded. Guitianyu, an Emperor realm expert who had dominated the star field for countless years, actually fell just like that. That was an Imperial Emperor level expert. He actually couldn't resist the attack of the Stone of Time. This was too inconceivable. After seeing this scene, everyone's face couldn't help but reveal a shocked expression. How terrifying was the attack of that beam of light to be able to kill Guitianyu in an instant. Damn it! The cultivators on the evil devil bandits' side looked extremely gloomy. The death of an Imperial Emperor level expert could be considered a huge loss for any force. The evil devil bandits were naturally no exception. Guitianyu's death was a huge loss for their side. The Stone of Time can actually take the initiative to attack, and the attack is so terrifying. I'm afraid no one can collect the Stone of Time, right? That's not necessarily the case. Perhaps there is a powerful expert with monstrous means. If an existence of that level makes a move, it should be successful. Many cultivators couldn't help but discuss. Ordinary cultivators naturally didn't dare to make a move. Even many of the Emperor realm cultivators were frowning as well. They didn't dare to try. Guitianyu's death was vivid in their minds. It rang the alarm bell for everyone. If they didn't have enough strength, if they rashly made a move, they would definitely die. After a long period of silence, an expert walked over from afar. Since everyone is unwilling to make a move, then this Stone of Time belongs to this old man. The approaching cultivator had the demeanor of a transcendent being. This person was called Sky Crane Loose Cultivator. He was a famous rogue cultivator in the starry sky world. Now that Sky Crane Loose Cultivator had come, he was also spying on the Stone of Time. Lin Feng even guessed that Sky Crane Loose Cultivator had been here from the beginning, but this person's patience was extremely strong. He didn't appear in advance. Now that Sky Crane Loose Cultivator had appeared, he probably felt that no one would dare to try again. Not good. Sky Crane Loose Cultivator's cultivation is unfathomable. If he makes a move, what will happen to us? Some cultivators of the big forces said in a deep voice. It's fine. Let's wait and see. The higher-ups of the big forces issued an order not to act rashly for the time being, but to see if Sky Crane Loose Cultivator could successfully collect the Stone of Time. Then, Chapter 3485. Unfettered Sky Crane walked towards the Stone of Time, step by step. His cultivation was truly terrifying. The terrifying pressure emitted by the Stone of Time did not affect Unfettered Sky Crane in the slightest. Unfettered Sky Crane quickly approached the Stone of Time. 1. At this moment, the Stone of Time shot out a terrifying beam of light towards Unfettered Sky Crane. With a wave of his hand, Unfettered Sky Crane sent out a dazzling sword energy. The sword energy collided with the Stone of Time's attack, creating a clanging sound. In the end, the two attacks were annihilated. Unfettered Sky Crane is so powerful. He was able to block the Stone of Time's attack. It seems Unfettered Sky Crane might be able to obtain the Stone of Time. That's not necessarily the case. The Stone of Time's attack won't end so easily. Just now should be the appetizer. Just wait and see. The Stone of Time will definitely release an even more powerful and terrifying attack later. That's right. The Stone of Time's attack has just begun. As for the outcome, it is still impossible to determine. However, even if Unfettered Sky Crane obtains the Stone of Time, it will only be a gift to us. He is a loose cultivator. Although he is powerful, 2 fists cannot fight against 4 hands. Can he fight against so many of us by himself? Many cultivators discussed spiritedly. Simon could not help but say, Unfettered Sky Crane's cultivation is so powerful. He might really succeed. Lin Feng nodded and said, There is indeed such a possibility. Unfettered Sky Crane's cultivation is absolutely terrifying. However, I wonder what other powerful moves the Stone of Time will unleash. Unfettered Sky Crane was getting closer and closer to the Stone of Time. 1. The Stone of Time once again released a powerful attack. This time, the Stone of Time shot out one destructive power after another. The dense destructive power was like a peerless immortal sword. It was extremely powerful, and all of them shot towards Unfettered Sky Crane. Unfettered Sky Crane's eyes were extremely cold. When the second wave of attacks from the Stone of Time arrived, Unfettered Sky Crane opened his hands. An illusory world appeared in his hands. The illusory world quickly devoured the attacks from the Stone of Time. Just like that, Unfettered Sky Crane easily destroyed the second wave of attacks from the Stone of Time. Unfettered Sky Crane's combat power shocked everyone. It was inconceivable and terrifying. Soon, Unfettered Sky Crane was 10 meters away from the Stone of Time. He was extremely close to the Stone of Sky Crane. Sky Crane's loose cultivator wanted to take the Stone of Time in one go. He sped up and dashed toward the Stone of Time. Then, he waved his hand and a powerful devouring power surged out. Unfettered Sky Crane by Unfettered Sky Crane, Unfettered Sky Cranes of Time. The Stone of Time shook the void, and a terrifying power gushed out from the Stone of Time. Unfettered by Unfettered Crane, Unfettered Skies of Time, Unfettered Time. Was. Unfettered Unfettered Edition. Sky Crane Loose Cultivator roared. He wanted to quickly escape from that strange and terrifying power of time. However, he tried several times. They all ended in failure. The power of time emitted by the Time Stone was simply too terrifying, causing Sky Crane Serene to be unable to break free. In the end, Sky Crane Unfettered's lifespan was completely devoured. Why is this happening? I can't accept this. Sky Crane Loose Cultivator let out a mournful and unwilling roar. But no one could save him. Right now, Tianhe and the other two were in a very bad situation. He struggled a few more times, but in the end, there was nothing he could do. Cultivator Sky Crane's lifespan was completely stripped away. It was as if his body had lost all its strength. In the end, Sky Crane Loose Cultivator's body fell to the ground. When he hit the ground, there was no longer any trace of life. Furthermore, Sky Crane Loose Cultivator's eyes were glaring angrily. Obviously, he died with his eyes wide open. Dead. Even someone as powerful as Sky Crane Cultivator was killed by the Stone of Time. Who else can collect the Stone of Time? Some of the cultivators outside sighed. They didn't have any hope of collecting the Stone of Time. The stone of time was simply too terrifying. It made one's heart palpitate. After losing 2 experts in a row, everyone became even more fearful of the stone of time. You, Simon said? Even Sky Crane Loose Cultivator is dead. Is there really no way to collect the stone of time? Lin Feng said. If you want to collect the stone of time, you need to resist the corrosion of the power of time. Otherwise, you won't be able to collect the stone of time. You, Simon nodded. It was indeed as Lin Feng said. Even if one was powerful, they could resist the various attacks of the stone of time. However, resisting the corrosion of the power of time was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. You, Simon said. If a cultivator has grasped the law of time, they should be able to resist the corrosion of the power of time for a short period of time. Only immortal realm cultivators can comprehend the law of time, Lin Feng said. He stood in the distance and observed the stone of time. The more he looked, the more shocked he became. Lin Feng felt as if a living creature was being nurtured inside the stone of time. This was an earth-shattering thing. The stone of time was already extremely terrifying. If a living creature was being nurtured inside the stone of time, it was hard to imagine how powerful and terrifying this living creature's cultivation would be. You don't have the strength to collect the stone of time, but you want to obtain this treasure. You're overestimating your cultivation. At this moment, a sneer was heard. An expert walked over from afar. It was a middle-aged cultivator. His aura was unfathomable. Sovereign Tai Qian! Someone exclaimed. He recognized the expert's identity. This was a sovereign realm expert. He was definitely standing at the peak of cultivation. Outsiders had no way of knowing exactly how powerful such an existence was. Now, a sovereign realm expert had come personally. It seemed like he was going to collect the stone of time. An expert of this level was too powerful, making everyone present feel pressured. Previously, many people had seen Sky Crane Loose Cultivator make his move. The cultivators from the major factions were waiting for Sky Crane Loose Cultivator to succeed. Although Sky Crane Loose Cultivator was powerful, he had yet to break through to the sovereign realm. Chapter 3486. Emperor Tai Heaven was giving off a suffocating aura. He was like a high and mighty deity looking down on everyone. No one dared to look at someone as strong as Emperor Tai Heaven. The Emperor realm was a very special realm among great emperors. Once one reached the Emperor realm, their life force would undergo a huge change. Because of this, Emperor realm cultivators were unimaginably terrifying. Even if there was only a fine line between a peak Emperor realm cultivator and an Emperor realm cultivator. But in reality, there was a huge gap between the two sides. And it was a gap that was almost impossible to cross. An existence at Emperor Tai Heaven's level rarely came out, but he came to the baleful Een Star in search of a stone of time. It was obvious. Just how powerful was the stone of time's allure? Even an Emperor realm cultivator couldn't resist its allure. Emperor Tai Heaven walked towards the stone of time. The stone of time seemed to know how strong Emperor Tai Heaven was. So it released the power of time to envelop Emperor Tai Heaven. The power of time was capable of destroying everything. No matter how strong a cultivator was, they couldn't stop the power of time from corroding their body. Against the power of time, Emperor Tai Heaven waved his hand and summoned something that looked like a crystal. It was a crystal that was almost transparent. Taking a closer look, you could see that there seemed to be water flowing inside the crystal. Against the power of time, Emperor Tai Heaven raised the crystal in his hand. Something shocking happened. A powerful devouring force was emitted from the crystal. The power of time that came from all directions was completely absorbed by the mysterious crystal in Emperor Tai Heaven's hand. After seeing this scene, someone suddenly exclaimed, "A time crystal! That's a time crystal! It's rumored to be a special crystal that can absorb the power of time. It's extremely rare." A cultivator couldn't help but exclaim. The cultivator clearly recognized the extraordinariness of the crystal. And now, Emperor Tai Heaven had a mystical treasure like the time crystal. Furthermore, it could negate the power of time from harming his body. So he didn't have to worry about the power of time harming his body. Emperor Tai Heaven's face was filled with pride. He came prepared. He was confident in obtaining the Stone of Time. The Grand Heaven Emperor continued walking towards the Stone of Time. The Time Stone seemed to know that it couldn't do anything to Monarch Tai Chien. Therefore, it shot into the sky and tried to escape. The Stone of Time has really gained sentience. Some cultivators immediately cried out in alarm. Where do you think you're going? Monarch Tai Chien snorted coldly as he unleashed a tremendous amount of dermic powers to suppress the Stone of Time. The Grand Heaven Sovereign naturally wouldn't let the Stone of Time escape so easily. If the Stone of Time escaped, wouldn't all his efforts be for naught? Emperor Taigon also knew that there must be other experts secretly eyeing the Stone of Time. If the Stone of Time escaped, the Stone of Time might be taken by someone else. At that time, he would have nothing to do with it. The Grand Heaven Sovereign would never allow such a thing to happen. In the face of Monarch Taigon's suppression, the Stone of Time gently shook the void. Instantly, a powerful force swept towards the Emperor Tai Chien. When the two attacks collided, Sovereign Taigon was actually sent flying. The Stone of Time's methods were truly extraordinary. After sending Monarch Tai Chien flying, it wanted to tear open the void and escape. However, at this moment, the void split open and a cultivator stepped out. It was a middle-aged cultivator. His eyes flashed with a sinister and terrifying light. When they saw the middle-aged cultivator, the fiend bandits were instantly excited. The leader is here! The cultivators from the fiend bandit group cried out in alarm. The leader of the fiend bandits was Xie Duanhuan's father. Back when Xie Duanhuan was killed by Lin Feng, the man issued a wanted order in the universe. The entire starry sky world wanted Lin Feng. However, no one had been able to find Lin Feng's whereabouts. Lin Feng had heard of the leader of the fiend bandits like thunder. It was just that he hadn't had the chance to meet him for so long. Now that he saw the leader of the fiend bandits from afar and felt the terrifying aura emanating from him, Lin Feng was extremely shocked. This was definitely an existence that was close to heaven-defying. Who knew how terrifying his cultivation must be? If he ran into someone else, Lin Feng had no chance of winning. After the leader of the fiend bandits appeared, he threw a punch at the Stone of Time. The Stone of Time that was trying to escape was sent flying. Then, the leader of the fiend bandits formed a dense array of runes. Those runes flew out and suppressed the Stone of Time. This person's methods were truly extraordinary. Not only was his cultivation high, but he also seemed to be proficient in formations and runes. Now, he wanted to suppress the Stone of Time. Just as the leader of the fiend bandits was about to succeed, Taigon Sovereign launched an attack on him. Sovereign Firmament naturally didn't want the Stone of Time to be taken by the leader of the fiend bandits, so his attack was extremely powerful. Sovereign Firmament, you're courting death! The leader of the fiend bandits roared and threw a punch at Sovereign Firmament. At this moment, the void split open again and a third expert attacked. The expert who had appeared this time was Supreme Venerable Myriad Star. This person was chasing after Lin Feng. It just so happened that the Stone of Time was born. Therefore, he hid in the dark and waited for an opportunity to attack. Now, he finally found the opportunity. The opportunity that Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star had found was excellent. Because Sovereign Firmament and the leader of the fiend bandits were engaged in a fierce battle, each holding the other back. This also bought time for Supreme Myriad Star. Endless magical power surged out of Supreme Myriad Star's body and directly enveloped the Stone of Time. It's done! Supreme Myriad Star's eyes suddenly lit up. Sovereign Firmament and the leader of the fiend bandits, who were engaged in a fierce battle, had ugly expressions. The two of them quickly abandoned each other. They charged towards Supreme Myriad Star. Supreme Myriad Star casually threw out two golden puppets. This was a puppet technique. The two golden puppets flew directly towards Sovereign Firmament and the leader of the fiend bandits. In midair, the two golden puppets transformed into Supreme Myriad Star's appearance. The two golden puppets were terrifyingly powerful and had no problem holding back Sovereign Firmament and the leader of the fiend bandits, for the time being. The stone of time is mine! Supreme Master Myriad Star smiled as he was about to collect the stone of time. But at this moment, an unforeseen event happened. In the void, a pitch-black lump of iron appeared and smashed towards Supreme Myriad Star. Chapter 3487. Ahaha! The stone of time is mine! No one can snatch it from me! Emotai attacked Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star while roaring. His words could be said to be rather arrogant and despotic. This was also in line with Emotai's character. Emotai exerted his strength to the extreme. He slammed into Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star. Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star could naturally choose to continue collecting the Stone of Time, but Emotai's appearance was too sudden. If Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star continued collecting the Stone of Time, he would not be able to block Emotai's attack. Emotai's attack was very powerful. If Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star was hit by Emotai's attack, it would definitely cause great damage to him. Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star might even be killed by Emotai. All of these could happen. Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star was naturally aware of this, so he had to temporarily give up collecting the Stone of Time in the face of Emotai's attack. Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star threw a punch at Emotai. Bang! Along with a violent collision sound, Emotai and Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star collided fiercely. Emotai was no match for Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star and was sent flying. However, Emotai was strong enough. Although Supreme Sovereign Myriad Star sent Emotai flying, he could not cause any damage to Emotai at all. Whoosh! At this moment, a light flashed next to the Stone of Time. A young cultivator appeared silently. This young cultivator was none other than Lin Feng. Lin Feng immediately took out the heaven-devouring jar. A powerful devouring force gushed out of the heaven-devouring jar and enveloped the Stone of Time. The Stone of Time also launched an attack on Lin Feng. The Stone of Time swept out a terrifying power of time. The Stone of Time wanted to use the power of time to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng stepped in the void, his deep voice resounding between heaven and earth. The power of time also has its own destiny. The God of Time also has his own destiny. Flowers bloom and wilt, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, night and day. The changes of time are all inseparable from the great path of destiny. As for me, I am the incarnation of fate. I will use the power of fate to dissolve the power of time. As soon as Lin Feng finished speaking, a large amount of fate power descended from the sky. The power of destiny collided with the power of time formed by the Stone of Time. Lin Feng's Tao of Destiny was indeed powerful, to actually withstand the erosion of the power of time. And at this moment, the heaven-swallowing jar unleashed its might and directly swallowed the Stone of Time. Got it! Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Little bastard, you're courting death! At this moment, the three sovereigns roared furiously. The three great emperors attacked together, launching terrifying attacks at Lin Feng. The divine abilities of the three great emperors could be described as world-destroying. In an instant, the void shattered and then flooded towards Lin Feng. The attacks of an Emperor Realm Master were indeed extraordinary. It was so powerful that it was unbelievable. After feeling the terrifying power contained in the attacks of the three great emperors, the surrounding cultivators all felt their hair stand on end. Who is that kid? How dare he steal the treasure that the three great emperors want? He's simply courting death. Yeah, that kid is completely courting death. The attacks of the three great emperors can probably kill him in an instant. Many cultivators could not help but be extremely shocked after seeing Lin Feng take the Stone of Time. However, when those cultivators saw the three great emperors attacking Lin Feng, they immediately knew that Lin Feng would die without a burial place. The attacks of the three great emperors were really too terrifying. It was not something that a young human cultivator like Lin Feng could contend against. The attacks of the three great emperors were about to reach Lin Feng's body. At this moment, whoosh! A light flashed. Lin Feng disappeared from where he stood. The situation just now was very dangerous. Fortunately, Lin Feng's heaven-patching technique played an extremely crucial role at the critical moment. Lin Feng appeared hundreds of meters away. The demon iron also flew back to the mountain river ring. Then, Lin Feng grabbed Yu Simon and quickly flew into the distance. Until now, many people still had not recovered from the shock of what had happened. Because everyone originally thought that Lin Feng would die without a doubt. However, the reality was not so. Not only did Lin Feng dodge the attacks of the three great emperors, but he was also unscathed. "I'll take the Stone of Time. Everyone, don't worry about it anymore. Everyone, go back to your homes." Before leaving, Lin Feng shouted loudly. Many people's mouths twitched violently after hearing Lin Feng's words. Who the hell was this guy? He was unscathed even when he was in trouble. Before leaving, he even said such teasing words. "Little beast! It's you!" The leader of the demonic bandits was the first to recognize Lin Feng's identity, and immediately roared. His eyes flashed with dense killing intent, as if he wanted to cut Lin Feng into pieces. Then, Supreme Myriad Star also recognized Lin Feng's identity. Supreme Myriad Star was also full of killing intent towards Lin Feng, and couldn't wait to kill Lin Feng immediately. "Boy, blood debts must be paid with blood. Today, you can't escape." Supreme Myriad Star's cold voice came out. Among the three great emperors, the only one who didn't have a grudge with Lin Feng was Supreme Myriad Star. However, the Stone of Time was taken by Lin Feng, so Supreme Myriad Star's killing intent towards Lin Feng was not much weaker than the killing intent towards Lin Feng by Supreme Myriad Star and the leader of the demonic bandits. Chapter 3488. Lin Feng was extremely excited. He had managed to steal time stones from so many strong cultivators. That wasn't an easy thing to do. Of course, Lin Feng and the others were not safe yet, because they needed to find a way to get rid of the three emperors who were chasing after them. As for the other cultivators, Lin Feng did not care. So what if they were peak Emperor sect cultivators? They could not do anything to Lin Feng. Only great emperors could pose a threat to Lin Feng. The speed of the three emperors was also extremely fast. In addition, Lin Feng was carrying Yu Simon. Therefore, their speed was reduced. The three emperors caught up one after another and saw Lin Feng and Yu Simon. Killing intent flashed in their eyes. "Are you ready to die?" the leader of the demonic bandits asked coldly. This existence's hands were stained with the blood of countless living beings. He was definitely a terrifying existence. Now that the old hatred between him and Lin Feng was added together, he could not wait to cut Lin Feng into 1,000 pieces. "Boy, when I catch you later, I will cut off your flesh piece by piece, then pull out your soul and throw it into the boundless purgatory. You will never be reincarnated." Supreme Emperor Myriad Star's voice was filled with endless killing intent. His killing intent towards Lin Feng was no less than the leader of the demonic bandits. "Boy, you're courting death by provoking me. No one in the world can save you." Supreme Emperor Taiqian's voice was as cold as ice. The three emperors. Their killing intent soared to the sky. Lin Feng glanced at the three and could not help but sneer. Although the three emperors were gradually closing in on him, Lin Feng was not worried because he had not yet reached his maximum speed. "You want to catch up to me with just the likes of you? What a fool's dream!" Lin Feng could not help but sneer, his face full of sarcasm. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the three Emperor Realm Masters were almost angered to death by Lin Feng. Their expressions were incomparably gloomy. "You're about to die, yet you still dare to boast shamelessly. How laughable! I hope you'll still be so arrogant when we catch you." The three great emperors spoke at the same time. Lin Feng, on the other hand, no longer paid any attention to the three Emperor Realm Masters. He sped up and rushed into the distance. After Lin Feng used the 8 small worlds to the extreme, 8 illusory small worlds appeared under Lin Feng's feet. Lin Feng stepped on the 8 illusory small worlds as if he was stepping on 8 real small worlds. Lin Feng's speed had reached an incredible level, leaving the three Emperor Realm Masters in the dust. "Damn it!" Seeing Lin Feng getting farther and farther away, the three Emperor Realm Masters could not help but roar angrily, their eyes filled with killing intent. Although they really wanted to kill Lin Feng's speed was simply too fast. They could not catch up to Lin Feng at all. In the end, Lin Feng used the 8 small worlds' divine ability to shake off the 3 Emperor Realm Masters. Next, he planned to find a place to study the Stone of Time before looking for the ruler's armor. Lin Feng found a hidden cave and entered it with Yu Simon. Then, Lin Feng sealed the cave with a seal. Then, he took out the Stone of Time. The Stone of Time had become much more obedient. It was motionless. Yu Simon looked at the Stone of Time in surprise and said, "Is this the Stone of Time? A stone that can change the flow of time?" It was Yu Simon's first time seeing the Stone of Time, so she was very curious about this treasure. Lin Feng nodded and said, "That's right. This treasure can change the flow of time, but it probably requires some special methods to do so. Let me comprehend the mysteries of the Stone of Time. Hopefully, I can figure out how to use it." "Okay." Yu Simon quickly nodded, not daring to disturb Lin Feng. Lin Feng sat cross-legged. He began to comprehend the Stone of Time. "Time is the medium that dominates everything." Suddenly, a voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. Boom! In the next moment, Lin Feng felt the world spinning. He found himself in an illusory world. This illusory world was a blurry and chaotic world. This was the world after the destruction of an era. Until the Big Bang. After the Big Bang, a new era began to be born. In the process of the birth of an era, countless living beings and races were formed. In the history of an era, great eras appeared one after another. Some of the great eras were dazzling and incomparably brilliant. However, some of the great eras were dim and lightless, and cultivation declined. Regardless of whether it was a flourishing great era or a declining one, under the passage of time, everything was moving. Flourishing great eras would come to an end one day. Declining great eras would also come to an end one day. Time was the medium that everything moved. Even the birth, aging, illness, and death of a person was also carried by time. It was just like the saying in the secular world that people were rare in the 70s. In other words, when a person reached the age of 70, their lifespan was almost at its end. Why was there such a saying passed down? Because in countless eras, the time from birth to death for countless ordinary people was about 70 years. Thus, the people of the later generations came up with this saying. The movement of everything in the world was carried by time. A loud rumbling sound could be heard. In the boundless starry sky world, a long river appeared. That river was boundlessly long. The river was surrounded by boundless holy light. The river of time. That long river was actually the river of time. The river of time that covered the history of an era. Lin Feng walked forward in the river of time. He caught a rune in the river of time. That rune recorded the life of a cultivator. That cultivator was called Hou-Yi. Lin Feng was shocked. Hou-Yi, the great sorcerer of the sorcerer tribe, had once shot down 9 suns. He was a legendary figure. Hou-Yi shot down the suns, Nuwa flew in the sky, and other legends were related to this existence. Even the fuse of the great sorcerer tribe war was related to Hou-Yi. In the past, when the demon tribe was at its peak, they occupied the heaven realm and ruled the heavenly court. However, because Hou-Yi shot down the suns, he killed the 9 golden crows. Demon Emperor Dijun was furious and killed Hou-Yi. The sorcerer tribe naturally wouldn't let Hou-Yi die so tragically. In addition, the sorcerer tribe was increasingly dissatisfied with Demon Emperor Dijun's cruel rule. Therefore, the sorcerer tribe began to resist the rule of the demon tribe. Demon Emperor Dijun sent an army to suppress them, and the great sorcerer tribe war broke out. Chapter 3489. The war between the witches and demons had led to the extinction of the witches. The decline of the demon race. These were all secrets of the past. Note, of course, the witches might have only suffered a great loss because there were no historical records of their extinction. However, there were no more witches in the universe. Hui shot down the 9 suns in the past for the sake of the world. However, the development of the matter far exceeded Hou Yi's expectations. Lin Feng watched Hou Yi's life. "There's no Chang'e." Lin Feng could not help but mutter. In the myths, Hou Yi's wife was Chang'e. However, in the memories that Lin Feng read, there were no memories of Chang'e. Why was that? Could it be because the myths were fake? Or was it because after Chang'e left Hou Yi wanted to forget Chang'e? So he erased the memories of Hou Yi in his soul? All of this was unknown. It was difficult to find out what happened back then. Unless Lin Feng could find other people from the same era as Hou Yi, he might be able to obtain information about what happened back then from other people's memories. Lin Feng also saw the sun-shooting divine bow and sun-shooting divine arrow in Hou Yi's memories. It was a supreme treasure that Hou Yi had spent countless efforts to create. This was a heaven-defying supreme treasure that could even shoot down the sun in the sky. From this, one could see how terrifying the sun-shooting divine bow and sun-shooting divine arrow were. Speaking of the sun-slaying divine bow, many people might not know much about it, but if it was the Hou Yi bow, many people would have heard of it. The sun-shooting divine bow was actually the Hou Yi bow that was passed down in the future. However, this supreme treasure had long been missing. Countless cultivators had searched for this supreme treasure, but there was no news. If the Hou Yi bow were to appear in the world, it would definitely cause a storm of blood. This was because this supreme treasure was not only a supreme treasure created by Hou Yi, but it might also be related to the secrets of the sorcerer tribe and the legacy of the sorcerer tribe. The witches were an extremely glorious race back then. Each of the 12 witches was equivalent to Pangu, Niwa, and the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. From this, one could see how terrifying the witches' inheritance was. If one could find the witches' inheritance, it would be an unimaginable gain. Hum! At this time, a rune flashed violently. Lin Feng was startled and quickly flew towards the rune. He grabbed the rune in his hand and began to carefully comprehend it. Lin Feng heard the sound of a baby crying. "Master, Madam has given birth to a boy!" A female cultivator walked out of the room and said excitedly. There were a dozen or so cultivators standing in the courtyard. Among them, a handsome human cultivator was pacing back and forth, appearing extremely anxious. When he heard the female cultivator's words, his eyes suddenly lit up. "Congratulations, Master!" Everyone congratulated the young cultivator. "Congratulations, young Master!" There were also some people who didn't address the young man as Master, but as young Master. Clearly, his status was different from the others. The young man nodded with a smile. Without stopping, he quickly entered the room. "Longer, thank you for your hard work." The young man came into the room and saw the woman with a pale face but a beautiful smile. He sat by the bed and gently stroked the woman's hair. "Brother Tian, let's give our child a name," said the woman. "Look at the red maple leaves outside, it's as beautiful as a paradise. Our child was born on the day the maple leaves fell. How about we call him Lin Feng from now on?" said the young man. "Lin Feng! Lin Feng!" The beautiful woman murmured the name. She nodded and said, "All right, we'll call him Lin Feng from now on. My child will be called Lin Feng." "Yeah." Little Lin Feng, who had just been born not long ago, smiled when he heard that he had a name. He even mumbled a few inaudible syllables. "This child?" Lin Beitian looked at Lin Feng in shock. Lin Feng had just been born, but he had already displayed extraordinary abilities. Even though Lin Beitian was knowledgeable, he couldn't help but be shocked. "Our child is destined to be extraordinary," said the woman. "Perhaps he's even more extraordinary than we imagined," said Lin Beitian. He stretched out his right hand and tapped Lin Feng's forehead. A rune flew out of his hand and imprinted itself on Lin Feng's forehead. "Brother Feng, don't try to divine the child's fate. His fate. It shouldn't be controlled by us," said the woman. Said Lin Beitian. "I know. This child's future is destined to be extraordinary, but I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I didn't divine his future just now. I only planted a fate rune on his forehead. I sealed his fate bloodline. The woman sighed. Our child is born with the undying bloodline, the sovereign bloodline, and the fate bloodline. Any one of these bloodlines is heaven-defying, but with all three of them in his body, won't it cause a backlash in the future? Speaking up to this point, the woman became worried and sick at heart. Bloodline backlash wasn't rare. If there was only one bloodline in the body, it was also possible for bloodline backlash to occur. If there were two bloodlines in the body and the balance between yin and yang was reached, the chances of bloodline backlash would be greatly reduced. If there were more than two bloodlines in the body, the chances of bloodline backlash would be greatly increased. Lin Feng was born with 3 bloodlines, which was why Lin Feng's mother was so worried about Lin Feng. No way! Apart from the fate bloodline, there seems to be a strange power hibernating in his body. I wanted to check it out earlier, but I discovered that the strange power instantly concealed itself, said Lin Beitian with a frown. However, he soon felt relieved because he didn't think it was a bad thing. In the future, if Lin Feng opened the seal on the fate bloodline, the 4th bloodline would be the 4th bloodline. The 4th type of strength in Lin Feng's body might also awaken on its own. At that time, he would be able to form the cycle of the 4 divisions. The cycle of yin and yang was the cycle of 2 bloodlines. The cycle of 4 divisions was the cycle of 4 bloodlines. It was like the change of seasons. The cycle of 4 divisions would make a cultivator's bloodline even more powerful. There's actually a 4th power? Could it be bloodline power as well? Is it an innately awakened innate talent like Brother Tian? If that's the case, I'll have to thank the heavens. Chapter 3490. Further down the line. This was the birth of a tragedy. Di Wudao, the son of the Heavenly Emperor, had joined Lin Beitian because he wanted to improve his cultivation base and defeat Lin Beitian one day. However, he realized that Lin Beitian's cultivation base had improved too quickly. Although his cultivation base had improved quickly as he followed Lin Beitian, there was still a huge gap between him and Lin Beitian. Therefore, Di Wudao's jealousy of Lin Beitian grew. Jealousy. It was the most terrifying emotion. This was because once a person developed feelings of jealousy, it was very likely that they would do anything. Di Wudao was too jealous of Lin Beitian and could not surpass him. Therefore, he wanted to destroy Lin Beitian. However, killing Lin Beitian wasn't an easy task. Lin Beitian's followers were extremely powerful and a few of them were as strong as Di Wudao. Therefore, he had to use some special methods to deal with Lin Beitian. Lin Beitian was a rising star of the human race. Although he was young, his reputation had already spread far and wide. Di Wudao thought of the Black Mist tribe, which had a blood feud with the Sovereign Emperor tribe. Therefore, Di Wudao sought out the Black Mist tribe and joined forces with them to deal with Lin Beitian. Di Wudao had been looking for an opportunity to strike but did not dare to do so in the end. Lin Beitian was too much of a threat to him. Di Wudao would never forget how Lin Beitian had killed the 9-headed Yuan Sage Great Celestial in one move. Even his father would not dare to say that he could kill a 9-headed Yuan Sage Great Celestial in one move. It's not impossible to deal with Lin Beitian. You can start with his wife and son. I'll teach you the Dao severing art. You can attack Lin Beitian's son and sever his great Dao and destroy his Dantian. Lin Beitian will be distracted and that will be our chance. A powerhouse from the Black Mist tribe said sinisterly. The Black Mist tribe will deal with Jilonger and Lin Beitian's son. I'll sneak attack Lin Beitian at the critical moment, Di Wudao said. The powerhouse from the Black Mist tribe thought for a while and nodded. All right, no problem. We'll strike in 3 days. 3 days later. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Soon, it started to rain heavily. According to the plan, Di Wudao went to find Lin Beitian and sent him away. The Black Fog tribe's experts arrived at Lin Beitian's residence. These people from the Black Fog tribe sealed the courtyard. Then he broke in. Black Fog race! Jilonga's face abruptly changed. That's right. It's us. Longer, your time of death has come. More than a dozen Black Fog tribe experts sneered and joined forces to attack Longer. A great battle broke out between the two sides. Longer had just given birth to Lin Feng not long ago, so her body was still relatively weak and could not withstand the attacks of more than 10 Black Fog tribe cultivators. Longer was injured. The cultivators of the Black Fog tribe took away the infant Lin Feng. Return the child to me. Longer quickly chased after him. Lin Beitian and the others were discussing how to enter a dangerous place to find a treasure that would greatly benefit their cultivation. Lin Beitian and the others rushed out after hearing the commotion. What happened? Lin Beitian asked anxiously. Black Fog tribe. They took away our child. Longer said with a pale face. Take good care of my wife, Lin Beitian said, then rushed into the sky and quickly chased after them. After Lin Beitian chased after them, Di Wudao also chased after them. Lin Beitian's speed was extremely fast and caught up with the Black Fog tribe cultivators. Lin Beitian, you're too late. Your son has been injured 3 times by us before he could even cultivate. His dantian was also destroyed by us. From now on, he will be a cripple. A Black Fog tribe cultivator laughed loudly. You all deserve to die. Lin Beitian's voice was cold. He took a step forward and the entire world froze. The experts of the Black Fog clan were instantly frozen in the void, unable to move. Lin Beitian took another step forward. Bang, bang, bang. Next, the sound of bodies exploding could be heard. More than a dozen Black Fog tribe cultivators' bodies all exploded. They did not know what kind of powerful technique Lin Beitian used to be so terrifying. Such battle prowess was truly shocking. Lin Beitian hugged the infant Lin Feng. Looking at his son's weak breathing, Lin Beitian's killing intent was monstrous. 6 paths of reincarnation. Lin Beitian quickly healed Lin Feng's injuries. At this time, Lin Feng had just been injured and still had time to recover. Under the cover of the 6 paths of reincarnation, Lin Feng's body quickly recovered. At this moment, Di Wudao was the first to chase after them. 9 stone swords appeared and slashed at Lin Beitian. Di Wudao's 9 stone swords were about to pierce through Lin Beitian's body. Suddenly, the space around Lin Beitian's body distorted, and Di Wudao's 9 stone swords could not move an inch forward. Di Wudao! You dared to trick me? Lin Beitian's eyes turned cold. You! Di Wudao was shocked. He had been by Lin Beitian's side for many years, but he did not expect Lin Beitian to be so powerful. One had to know that Lin Beitian was mostly focused on Lin Feng, healing Lin Feng's injuries. However, Lin Beitian easily blocked his attack. Then, how strong was Lin Beitian at his peak? It was hard to imagine. Die! Lin Beitian was also a decisive person. He had already guessed the whole story. It was Di Wudao who colluded with the Black Mist tribe and almost killed his son. Lin Beitian slapped at Di Wudao. No, no, no. Give me one more chance. Spare me, spare me! Di Wudao cried out in fear. Originally, Di Wudao didn't think that he was a person who was afraid of death. Only now did he realize that even in the face of death, he would still be afraid. Di Wudao could not block Lin Beitian's attack. Just as Lin Beitian was about to kill Di Wudao, a figure silently appeared between Lin Beitian and Di Wudao. Father! Di Wudao was overjoyed. It was his father, Heaven Emperor. Bang! Lin Beitian and Heaven Emperor collided. Both sides took 3 steps back. Lin Beitian's face darkened. He tore open the void and left quickly. Wah! After Lin Beitian left, Heaven Emperor spat out mouthfuls of blood and collapsed to the ground. Father, how are you? Di Wudao could not believe his eyes. His father, the powerful Heaven Emperor who controlled the undying world, was injured so badly by Lin Beitian. Moreover, Lin Beitian had probably only used 30% of his strength just now. Chapter 3491. Lin Beitian reversed fate and saved Lin Feng. But because he was poisoned, his combat strength dropped tremendously. After many factions heard the news about Lin Baitian, they all attacked. They wanted to kill Lin Baitian. Lin Baitian's followers were extremely loyal to him, even though they knew that they might die if they continued to follow Lin Baitian. But still, no one left. In the battles, many people were killed. Finally, in that place in the Chaos Star Field, Lin Baitian and the others were surrounded. At that time, the poison in Lin Baitian's body relapsed. Lin Baitian suppressed the poison in his body with all his might. Therefore, he couldn't divert his attention to deal with those pursuers. Lin Feng's mother, Ji Longer, personally led people to fight against the pursuers. In this battle, except for Ji Longer, who was captured by the Black Fog race, the rest died in battle. The battle was extremely tragic. Later, the powerhouses of the various factions surrounded Lin Baitian and the others again. And in this battle, Lin Feng's uncle died in the outer space world in order to escort Lin Baitian and Lin Feng away. After landing in the 9 states, Lin Baitian narrowly escaped death several times. Finally, he managed to neutralize the poison. Scenes appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng originally had a certain understanding of what happened in the past. For example, Lin Baitian was ambushed by Di Wudao. Originally, Lin Feng knew that his father was ambushed by Di Wudao. But now, it seemed that this wasn't the case. Lin Baitian was actually ambushed by the Celestial Emperor. In fact, with Lin Baitian's strength, even if he fought against the Celestial Emperor, he shouldn't have been ambushed. But at that time, Lin Baitian's attention was all on Lin Feng. That was why he was ambushed. Di Wudao, the Celestial Emperor, the Black Fog race, and other forces were now on Lin Feng's must-kill list. These forces had completely angered Lin Feng. This made Lin Feng's killing intent soar. There was a lot of content behind, including many things that Lin Feng had experienced. They were all displayed one by one. Lin Feng looked at the images. Everything he had experienced was displayed in front of him like a continuous image. This further strengthened Lin Feng's Dao heart. A debt of blood must be repaid with blood. All the blood debts. Lin Feng kept it in mind. He would never let go of those who owed him a blood debt. The last scene of this memory was when Lin Feng snatched away the time stone. Lin Feng watched his own life. There were some things that even he didn't know about. But now, Lin Feng already knew these things. What had happened in the past would not affect Lin Feng. On the contrary, it would strengthen Lin Feng's heart of cultivation. If I can control the power of time, there will be countless possibilities in my life. A voice resounded in Lin Feng's mind. Following that, mysterious runes appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Those runes were incomparably mysterious, and seemed to be related to the time stone. Lin Feng began to comprehend those mysterious runes. However, after comprehending for a long time, he actually couldn't comprehend anything useful. It seemed that those runes, they weren't so easy to comprehend. If he wanted to comprehend those runes, he needed time. Or perhaps, he needed an opportunity. Lin Feng withdrew his mind. Time was short, now was not the time to comprehend those runes. But Lin Feng guessed. If he could successfully comprehend those runes, perhaps he would be able to control the time stone. When the time came, he would be able to use the time stone to create a space that could change the flow of time. This was one of the things that Lin Feng wanted to do the most at the current stage. Lin Feng put away the time stone. Then he looked at Yu Simon beside him. He said, "There's no time to lose, let's continue looking for the ruler's armor." Yu Simon nodded and took out a jade talisman. Lin Feng looked at the jade talisman. Then he asked, "What's the origin of this jade talisman?" Yu Simon nodded and said, "Of course there's an origin. This jade talisman is related to the ruler's armor. Father said that this jade talisman can sense the location of the ruler's armor. Moreover, with this jade talisman, even if we can't obtain the approval of the ruler's armor, we won't be attacked by it." Hearing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but feel slightly happy. The ruler's armor was so powerful. Lin Feng was indeed worried that if he wasn't recognized by the ruler's armor, he would be attacked by it. Now that he had this jade talisman, he didn't have to worry about this kind of thing happening. Lin Feng and Yu Simon continued to rush towards the depths. On the way, Lin Feng and Yu Simon saw many cultivators looking for them. The cultivators of the major powers believed that Lin Feng and Yu Simon were still on the baleful Yin star. So, the other party didn't just seal off the starry sky. They also sent a large number of powerful cultivators. Their purpose was to find Lin Feng and Yu Simon. It wouldn't be easy to leave this place without a hitch. However, Lin Feng wasn't worried. With his methods, even if he couldn't obtain the approval of the ruler's armor, if he wanted to leave, very few people would be able to trap him. If he obtained the approval of the ruler's armor, even if he met the three emperors, Lin Feng wasn't afraid at all. When Lin Feng and Yu Simon arrived at the depths of the baleful Yin star, the two of them used the earth escape technique to hide underground. The core of the baleful Yin star was extremely large. It wasn't difficult for a supreme treasure like the ruler's armor to hide. Fortunately, Yu Simon had the jade talisman left behind by her father. Not long after Lin Feng and Yu Simon entered the depths of the Earth's core, this jade talisman began to move. The jade talisman floated in midair. It shook and emitted waves of violent fluctuations. Lin Feng and Yu Simon both revealed looks of joy. Yu Simon said, "It seems that the jade talisman has already sensed the ruler's armor." Lin Feng nodded and said, "Let's follow the jade talisman and see where it will go." The two of them followed the jade talisman and flew towards the depths. The depths of the Earth's core weren't calm. This place was filled with destructive power, and the flames were burning fiercely. This kind of flame that was born in the depths of the Earth's core was an extremely terrifying flame. Ordinary cultivators, they couldn't resist this kind of flame at all. They would be burned to ashes. Lin Feng controlled 5 types of heavenly fire. Therefore, he wasn't afraid of this kind of flame. He used the heavenly fire to protect Yu Simon. Therefore, Yu Simon was also not harmed by the flames. There were even some terrifying flame creatures active in the depths of the Earth's core. However, after those flame creatures sensed the terrifying aura emitted from Lin Feng's body, they didn't attack Lin Feng and Yu Simon. 2 hours later, Lin Feng and Yu Simon followed the jade talisman to an underground magma world. In the underground magma world, there was an armor floating. Chapter 3492. The Dominator's armor was shrouded in mystery, exuding a shocking and powerful force. As expected of a supreme treasure left behind by a Dominator, this supreme treasure was absolutely extraordinary. If one could refine it, it would have a heaven-defying effect on any cultivator. Take the jade talisman and see if you can refine the Dominator's armor. Yu Simon handed the jade talisman to Lin Feng. Now Yu Simon's entire mind was on Lin Feng. Therefore, even if she wanted to refine the Dominator's armor, she would let Lin Feng try first. If Lin Feng could refine the Dominator's armor, perhaps she would be even happier than if she did it herself. If Lin Feng couldn't refine the Dominator's armor, then she would try to refine the Dominator's armor. Lin Feng nodded and took the jade talisman. Then, he took the jade talisman and flew toward the Dominator's armor. Lin Feng arrived above the Dominator's armor. Then, he struck out with a strand of magic power. Lin Feng's strand of magic power tried to merge into the Dominator's armor. However, Lin Feng realized his magic power was actually repelled by the Dominator's armor. The Dominator's armor was very strange. It could repel a cultivator's magic power. Lin Feng's magic power couldn't merge into the Dominator's armor, let alone refine it. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Could it be that he wasn't fated to have the Dominator's armor? Lin Feng dreamed of refining such a powerful magic treasure. But if he wasn't fated, he was destined to miss this magic treasure. Lin Feng looked at the jade talisman in his hand. Could this jade talisman play a key role? Thinking of this, Lin Feng injected magic power into the jade talisman. After absorbing Lin Feng's magic power, something astonishing immediately happened. Dense runes appeared on the jade talisman. The runes intertwined and twisted together, forming an incomparably powerful vibration force. The vibration force fiercely shook the void. Every wave of vibrating force seemed to be able to collapse the void. The runes on the jade talisman finally shot out a beam of light. The beam of light fused into the sovereign's armor. Buzz. However, at this moment, the hegemon armor gently shook the void. A wave of tyrannical power surged out. That terrifying strength made the talisman fly away. Lin Feng was also blown away along with the talisman. However, just as Simon had said before, even if he couldn't refine the ruler's armor, as long as he had the jade talisman, the ruler's armor wouldn't harm him. This was the case with Lin Feng. Although he had failed to refine the ruler's armor, because of the jade talisman, Lin Feng hadn't been harmed by the ruler's armor. Such a powerful treasure, yet I can't refine it. I really can't accept this. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. He absolutely wasn't willing to give up on refining the ruler's armor just like that. Lin Feng absolutely wasn't willing. The token is only one of the reasons. Oh? What other reason is there? I'd like to hear it. The weapon spirit of the ruler's armor said coldly. Lin Feng said, First, if you wanted to attack me, you wouldn't have said so much to me. Second, in fact, you've already discovered that I'm extraordinary. You're just hesitating in your heart about how to make a choice. Third, you're worried about your choice. If you make the wrong choice, you'll be delayed for many years. However, time is extremely precious to you now. Due to the appearance of the 5 signs of decay, you don't have much time to continue defying the heavens and changing your fate. When the era is destroyed, your fate will be destroyed as well. Therefore, at this time, you need to find someone who can truly help you. However, you can't be sure if I'm that person. I don't know if these 3 points are correct. Chapter 3493. That's right. The 3 points you mentioned are exactly what I'm worried about. The artifact spirit couldn't help but say. The artifact spirit didn't know how to hide his thoughts. He was an open and above-board existence. The artifact spirit faintly said, The undying bloodline, the sovereign clan, and the sealed fate bloodline. In addition, there seems to be an even more mysterious power inside your body. You are destined to be extraordinary, but you are also destined to experience many trials and tribulations. If you can summon a dragon and this seat follows you, I will naturally be able to obtain endless benefits. However, this seat already knew that you will encounter many difficulties and obstacles. Thus, the probability of overcoming them is not high. Falling before you can mature is more likely. Thus, I need to carefully consider whether I should follow you or not. As expected, the ruler's armor's spirit was extremely strong. It even knew about the 4th mysterious strength, which was sealed in Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng was astonished. Of course, Lin Feng was also someone who had seen many storms and waves. Therefore, even though he was astonished, Lin Feng remained calm and collected. Lin Feng said, I have always been an optimist. I believe that I can overcome any difficulties. Moreover, the Tao I cultivate is the Tao of supremacy. A supremacy is an existence who has stepped on the bones of Kai to reach the peak. If I don't encounter any difficulties along the way, how can I reach the peak? You are not being optimistic. You are being blindly confident. In other words, you are being arrogant. The artifact spirit couldn't help but sneer as if he was deliberately mocking Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently. Arrogant? I don't think so. Since I have the ability, I have the confidence to do so. I have cultivated 2,400 types of the 3,000 Grand Das. In addition, I have also cultivated the legacies of Fuxi, Qiyu, the 2 devil lords, Niwa, and many other peerless experts. In the history of this epoch, how many cultivators who have yet to become emperors have cultivated the 3,000 Grand Das and had more top divine abilities than me? I'm sure there are only a handful of them, right? Apart from these powerful divine abilities, I have also obtained 3 stone swords, the Hell King Bell, the Heavenly Drum, the Vampiric Dagger, the Heaven-Devouring Jar, the Black Dragon Sword, and many other supreme treasures. How many people in history have obtained so many supreme treasures like me? Those who think I'm arrogant don't know my strength or my methods, so they assume I'm arrogant. Don't you find it laughable? After hearing Lin Feng's words, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor couldn't help but frown. The achievements that Lin Feng had mentioned were indeed astonishing. Follow me! Soar to the heavens! Lin Feng said firmly. At that moment, the artifact spirit sensed an indescribable aura from Lin Feng. That kind of temperament. It was like the aura emanating from the Renhuang. That kind of aura made people have an impulse to believe him. Good! I can agree to your request, but we need to agree to 3 conditions, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Lin Feng was overjoyed when the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor agreed to submit to him. He asked calmly, What conditions do you want? Tell me, first. Before the great calamity arrives, I won't take the initiative to help you because I need to save my strength for when the great calamity arrives. The artifact spirit of the ruler's armor stated its first condition. Lin Feng nodded. No problem. I promise you. Secondly, you have to figure out how to use the sovereign's armor on your own. I won't take the initiative to teach you, because even if I know how to use it, I've figured it out on my own. Perhaps it's not the most correct method. Teaching it to you will only lead you astray. The artifact spirit of the sovereign's armor continued. Lin Feng said, No problem. I like to work hard to find what I want. I don't want to rely on others to give me what I want. The artifact spirit continued. Third, if your cultivation doesn't surpass the Emperor realm within 1,000 years, all ties between us will be severed. I don't need 1,000 years. I can surpass the Emperor realm, Lin Feng said with his hands clasped behind his back. How difficult was it to surpass the Emperor realm? It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, Lin Feng said it so confidently. Lin Feng's confidence seemed to originate from his bloodline, from his bones, and from his soul. In fact, Lin Feng's cultivation had improved so quickly over the years because of his hard work and other factors. It was also closely related to his strong self-confidence. All right, since you've agreed, let's sign the contract now, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Then, a ray of holy light surged out from the ruler's armor. The holy light intertwined in midair, and one could vaguely see that the holy light had transformed into a page condensed from energy. On the page were the requirements of the ruler's armor. Look carefully at the contents. If there are no problems, we'll sign the soul contract, the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor said. Lin Feng looked at it once, then nodded and said, No problem. We can sign the contract now. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng's soul power surged into the contract book. And a soul power also surged out from the ruler's armor. That soul power also surged into the contract book. When Lin Feng's soul power and the artifact spirit of the ruler's armor surged into the contract book at the same time, suddenly, Lin Feng felt it. He had a mysterious connection with the ruler's armor. Swish. The next moment, there was a flash of light. Lin Feng found that he had returned to reality from that illusory world. He was still sitting cross-legged, holding the jade talisman in his hand. Everything that had just happened was like a dream. However, this was not a dream, because after Lin Feng woke up, he found that he had indeed formed a mysterious connection with the ruler's armor. How is it? Did you get anything? Seeing Lin Feng open his eyes, Yu Simon asked with concern. She naturally hoped that Lin Feng would succeed. Because Lin Feng was her man. The stronger Lin Feng was, Yu Simon was even happier. Lin Feng smiled, then reached out and pointed at the ruler's armor. A ray of magic power surged into the ruler's armor. Buzz. The ruler's armor vibrated with a powerful aura, then the ruler's armor soared into the sky from the magma world. Then, it turned into a rune and flew into Lin Feng's dantian. Chapter 3494. The ruler's armor fused into his dantian. Lin Feng only needed to use his divine will to communicate with the sovereign's armor. Lin Feng wasn't in a hurry to leave. He planned to study the ruler's armor. When Yu Simon saw that Lin Feng had successfully refined the ruler's armor, she was incomparably happy. She asked excitedly, "Now that I've refined the ruler's armor, does that mean I can use it?" Lin Feng replied, "I'm afraid that I still can't activate the ruler's armor. If I want to activate this treasure, I'll need to comprehend some of the activation techniques recorded in this treasure." When she heard Lin Feng, Yu Simon said, "Then let's enter into closed-door cultivation here for a period of time, and it wouldn't be too late to leave once we're able to utilize the Overlord armor." Yu Simon was mainly worried that she would be surrounded by 3 Emperor Realm Masters if she left at this moment. Last time, he had managed to escape from the pursuit of 3 Emperor Realm Masters by sheer luck. However, if he were to encounter 3 Emperor Realm Masters again this time, these 3 Emperor Realm Masters would most likely be prepared, so it wouldn't be easy to escape from their hands again. Thus, Yu Simon wanted to wait until Lin Feng could control the ruler's armor before leaving. If he were to encounter 3 Emperor Realm Masters at this time, with Lin Feng's own strength and the extraordinary ruler's armor, it wasn't impossible for him to contend against 3 great emperors. Even if he couldn't defeat the 3 emperors, it shouldn't be difficult for him to leave this place. Yu Simon's thoughts coincided with Lin Feng's. In the following month, Lin Feng remained in seclusion. He was trying to figure out how to use the sovereign's armor. During this month, Lin Feng had gained some enlightenment. Although he couldn't completely control the ruler's armor, he was still able to control it. However, he was already able to control the ruler's armor. Lin Feng's hands were moving in a flurry of hand seals. All of the incantations entered the sovereign armor. After fusing with the incantations, the ruler's armor was activated. Swish! With a flash of light, the ruler's armor turned into a silver armor, completely enveloping Lin Feng. At that moment, Lin Feng seemed to have transformed into an eternal immortal king. His aura was so powerful that it was suffocating. Furthermore, Lin Feng could clearly sense the terrifying power contained within the ruler's armor. He was able to borrow the terrifying energy contained within the sovereign's armor. Of course, this borrowing was not without a price. He wanted to borrow that powerful force. It would consume one's own magic power. And this kind of consumption was extremely serious. The more you gain in one aspect, the more you lose in the other. This was the law of conservation. It applies to this moment. Although the ruler's armor consumed a lot of magic power, Lin Feng was still very satisfied with it. This was because the ruler's armor was powerful enough. It could increase Lin Feng's combat strength in a short period of time. Swish! With a flash of light, Lin Feng put the ruler's armor into his body. Then, he looked at Yu Simon and said, "Let's go! Let's go rescue father-in-law!" Yu Simon quickly nodded. These days, Yu Simon had been worried about her father. However, Yu Simon knew that she had to be strong enough to rescue her father. Or else, she would be courting death if she went. When the time came, not only would she not be able to save her father, but she and Lin Feng would also be sacrificed. Yu Simon naturally did not want to see such a thing happen. Now, Lin Feng could finally control the ruler's armor. Yu Simon saw the hope of rescuing her father. Yu Simon followed Lin Feng and flew outside. On the way, Yu Simon said, "Do you want to visit some of my father's other friends? I hope they can help. This way, we won't be alone." Lin Feng nodded. He naturally agreed with Yu Simon's suggestion. Although he had preliminary control of the ruler's armor, Lin Feng did not know how many experts the other party had. Therefore, if he could find some allies to rescue Supreme Venerable Myriad Star, the probability of success would also be much higher. The two of them quickly flew towards the Starry Sky World. However, the Starry Sky World was sealed. Lin Feng and Yu Simon were intercepted by someone. The ones who intercepted the two of them were cultivators from the Starry Sky Demon Snake Clan, the Star Refining Demon Swallowing Clan, and more than a dozen other forces. Kid, we've been waiting for you for a long time. You're finally here. If you want to live, hand over the stone of time. Otherwise, we'll have no choice but to kill you, an expert said in an indifferent voice. Let's do it. Lin Feng could not help but sneer. Kill this kid! Hundreds of experts' voices were cold. Then, they attacked together and attacked Lin Feng. These people were already prepared. They had set up a killing array and even used hundreds of powerful magic treasures and an emperor-level magic treasure to guard the array core. The killing array released a power that could destroy heaven and earth. It was extremely terrifying. If it were any other cultivator facing the killing array set up by so many experts, they would probably feel despair. However, the killing array set up by these cultivators was not a problem for Lin Feng. In this world, there were probably not many cultivators who could be more powerful than Lin Feng in terms of array formation attainments. Therefore, in the face of the killing array's attack, Lin Feng easily found the flaws of the array. Lin Feng grabbed Yu Simon's hand and moved through the deployment spell. They dodged the attacks one after another, and then they successfully came out of the deployment spell. Slash! Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He waved his right hand and a dense sword chi swept out. It slashed towards those cultivators. How can you rush out of the array so easily? Many cultivators cried out in disbelief. They could not believe their eyes. Surprisingly, Lin Feng had managed to escape from the deadly deployment spell so easily. It was simply unbelievable. However, these cultivators quickly came back to their senses because Lin Feng's attack was already coming. They had no choice but to block Lin Feng's attack. However, Lin Feng's attack was too powerful. The dazzling sword chi instantly tore apart the divine abilities of the cultivators. Pu-chi! 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 Then, the sound of flesh being torn apart could be heard one after another. One cultivator's body was directly cut into two by Lin Feng's sword chi. In the end, they died tragically under Lin Feng's attack. Run! When the rest of the cultivators saw how terrifying Lin Feng was, how could they still have the courage to fight? They all fled in all directions. Do you think you can escape? Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. As soon as his voice fell, he executed a sword blade storm. Endless sword chi formed a storm and swept towards the fleeing cultivators. Chapter 3495. The power of the sword blade storm was too tyrannical. It was simply shocking and moving. The escaping cultivators were all sucked into the sword blade storm. I don't want to die. Spare me! Spare me! As long as you spare me, I'll do anything. The cultivators who were sucked into the sword blade storm begged loudly. However, Lin Feng didn't care about these people's pleas at all. Lin Feng was very clear about that. Showing mercy to your enemies was the same as showing mercy to yourself. Therefore, he wouldn't pity these people. Pu-chi! 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 The sound of tearing continued. The cultivators who were sucked into the sword blade storm were directly killed. Their bodies were torn to pieces by the dense sword chi, and they all died tragically. After killing these cultivators, Lin Feng took their storage rings and magic treasures, and then quickly left. Some cultivators who were watching the show in the distance had an expression of disbelief on their faces when they saw Lin Feng easily kill hundreds of experts by himself. It was really too shocking. Anyone who saw this scene would probably not dare to believe it was real. I've only heard that this kid is extraordinary. He even snatched the stone of time from the hands of the three emperors. But at that time, I always thought that this kid was able to do this because he had some powerful treasures. At that time, he must have used those powerful treasures to snatch the stone of time. But now it seems that he didn't rely solely on those treasures. That kid's cultivation is really terrifying. At this time, a cultivator said. Yes. That guy's combat strength is terrifying. This can't be underestimated. However, it's said that the three emperors are now guarding the outer realm. It won't be easy to escape. We have to pray that we don't meet the three emperors. Otherwise, we'll still die. Then, another cultivator said. Many people began to talk about this matter. At this moment, Lin Feng and Yu Simon had already flown into the distance. However, it was not easy to escape. The news of Lin Feng's appearance quickly spread. After a short time, a Zun De cultivator caught up with Lin Feng. The Emperor Realm Master who had caught up with Lin Feng was none other than the Emperor Realm Master of 10,000 Kingdoms. You little bastard! Are you ready to die? The myriad countries' emperor stared coldly at Lin Feng, his eyes filled with killing intent. Myriad kingdom emperors hated Lin Feng to the bone, and wished that they could kill Lin Feng right now. Said Lin Feng indifferently. You think you can do it alone? You're overestimating yourself. Hearing Lin Feng's arrogant words, the 10,000 Kingdoms Emperor's face was filled with killing intent. That was because Lin Feng was simply too arrogant. Although Lin Feng's battle prowess was frightening enough, Lin Feng was simply too arrogant. However, in front of an Emperor Realm Master, there was still a huge gap. Even if the Emperor of 10,000 countries was only a First Heaven Emperor Realm low-level Emperor. But that was still a venerable Emperor. The supreme dignity of a venerable Emperor could not be violated in any way. Brat, go to hell! The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms Emperor's eyes were cold as he threw a palm at Lin Feng. In the void, a huge energy palm was formed. The energy palm gently shook the void. It was as if it could shatter 100,000 starry skies. The power of an Emperor Realm Master was terrifying. Step back! With a wave of his hand, Lin Feng sent Yu Simon far away by Lin Feng. Then, Lin Feng communicated with the ruler's armor. Swish! A silver light flashed slightly. Then, Lin Feng's body was completely wrapped in silver light. At the same time, an unimaginably powerful and majestic mana surged into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's battle prowess, rising steadily. In an instant, Lin Feng's battle prowess increased to a level that made ghosts and gods pale in comparison. Facing the attack of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He threw a punch, and a fist light condensed and collided with the attack of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. The attacks of both sides were annihilated, and Lin Feng and the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms both took 3 steps back. What kind of magic treasure is that? The eyes of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms were fixed on the ruler's armor on Lin Feng's body. Naturally, he could tell at a glance that the reason why Lin Feng was able to display such terrifying battle prowess was greatly related to the ruler's armor. You want to know? Go to hell and ask the King of Hell! Lin Feng sneered, then jumped out and quickly flew towards the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. The ruler's armor provided Lin Feng with a terrifying power boost, and Lin Feng's battle prowess increased crazily. Just now, he was on par with the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Now, Lin Feng decided to go all out. He wanted to see what level his battle prowess could reach after increasing it to the limit. Supreme Reincarnation Fist! Lin Feng's mana began to circulate, and he directly used his trump card. This was the supreme Tao that Lin Feng created himself. A peerless great Tao. 10,000 Worlds Extermination! At this moment, the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms also used his trump card. This 10,000 Worlds Extermination was also an extremely terrifying divine ability. After this divine ability was used, it immediately evolved into an endless world. The power of Nirvana surged. Endless worlds were destroyed. This was the 10,000 Worlds Extermination. A divine ability that was so heaven-defying that it made people turn pale with shock. And the first collision between the two sides caused a huge commotion, attracting the surrounding cultivators. At this time, a cultivator said, "The cultivator wrapped in the silver armor is the kid who stole the Stone of Time. I just saw that this guy actually didn't die after colliding with the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. It's unbelievable. That silver armor is definitely a heaven-defying treasure. No matter how heaven-defying the treasure is, what's the use? How many times can you withstand an attack from an Empyrean realm powerhouse?" Then another cultivator said, "Although magic treasures are also a part of one's strength, The Emperor-level expert is too powerful. That kid can't be a match for the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms with just magic treasures. I guess that within 3 moves, that kid will be destroyed by the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, and then killed by the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. The third cultivator continued. Many of the surrounding cultivators nodded. Obviously, those cultivators also felt that Lin Feng and the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms would meet. Only death awaited them. Chapter 3496. While everyone was discussing, Lin Feng and the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's attacks collided again. Under Lin Feng's control, the Supreme Reincarnation Fist exploded with its strongest power. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor's Nirvana world was also incomparably powerful. Both sides' divine abilities were extremely powerful. Bang! At this moment, the two of them collided. This was a peak confrontation, accompanied by a violent collision that shook the heavens and the earth. It was as if 2 rapidly rotating planets in the starry sky had collided. The sky and earth were spinning, and the earth was collapsing. It was shocking and horrifying. The starry sky collapsed, and the stars shattered. It was as if doomsday had arrived, destroying everything. It was truly a peerless horror. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. The surrounding cultivators were all shocked and quickly dodged. The pressure from the collision between the two. It had already made the surrounding cultivators feel what despair was. Many people felt as if their lives no longer belonged to them. Fortunately, this was only a kind of spiritual pressure. However, they were not involved in this great battle. This was the only thing worth rejoicing about. If they were involved in this battle, many people felt that they would definitely die. There was no chance of survival at all. Pfft. Lin Feng and the Myriad Kingdom Emperor were in a stalemate for a very short time. Then, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was sent flying by Lin Feng. In midair, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as a sheet. How is this possible? The Myriad Kingdom Emperor was actually injured. Oh my God, am I seeing things? An Emperor-level expert was actually injured. Isn't this too unbelievable? What we saw must be an illusion, right? Many cultivators who were watching the battle could not help but exclaim. They could not believe what they were seeing. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor. He was actually beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng. It was truly unbelievable. Many people even rubbed their eyes hard, trying to see if it was real. However, they realized that everything that happened in front of them was real. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor. He was really beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng, who was wearing the silver armor. It's that silver armor. Otherwise, that kid wouldn't have such strength. What kind of supreme treasure is that? He's actually so powerful? Many cultivators exclaimed as they stared unblinkingly at Lin Feng's sovereign armor. Endless greed burst out from many people's eyes. The silver armor was simply too tempting. In the eyes of many, Lin Feng could become so powerful after wearing the silver armor. In that case, if these people were to wear the silver armor, wouldn't they also become very powerful? Lin Feng already knew that many people would covet the ruler's armor after seeing it. He couldn't help but sneer in his heart. What a bunch of greedy and ignorant people. In this world, there weren't many people who could make the ruler's armor recognize them as its master. Lin Feng described his future to the Dominator's armor. The Dominator's armor was touched. Just now, it took the initiative to recognize him as its master. Who do these people think they are? Even many cultivators who had surpassed the Emperor realm were nothing in the ruler's armor's eyes, let alone others. He really overestimated himself. Lin Feng was like a peerless immortal king. He walked forward in the void, his eyes flashing with endless coldness. He walked step by step toward the Myriad Kingdom Emperor, his killing intent like the sea. Myriad Kingdom Emperor! Your cultivation is only SOSO. If you don't have any other means, today's starry sky world will be your burial ground. Lin Feng looked at the Myriad Kingdom Emperor indifferently. His eyes flashed with endless killing intent. Kid! Do you think you can kill me just by relying on a piece of armor to increase your combat strength in a short period of time? What a joke! Today, I'll let you know how powerful I am. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor's face couldn't help but contort. As an Emperor Realm expert, he had just been beaten to the point of vomiting blood by Lin Feng. It was simply a great humiliation. For the Myriad Kingdom Emperor, it was something he couldn't tolerate. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor had lived a glorious life. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? Therefore, for Lin Feng, the Myriad Kingdom Emperor only had a deep killing intent. An expert of this level must have mastered a lot of methods. At this moment, the void around the Myriad Kingdom Emperor began to distort. Then, mysterious countries appeared one after another. Those were mysterious countries. In each country, there was an ancient god sitting cross-legged. 10,000 countries, 10,000 gods. Could it be? Among the spectating cultivators, someone seemed to recognize the divine ability that the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used. They couldn't help but exclaim in surprise, and their expressions became extremely serious. What is it? Many people asked curiously. They didn't know what kind of divine ability the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used. However, from the shocked expression of the cultivator, they could tell that the divine ability the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used must be very heaven-defying. The cultivator said, "Myriad Kingdom God, this is the legendary supreme technique passed down from a supreme existence in the era of titled gods. It's called a thought to create a country, Myriad God descends. Once this divine ability is used, it will definitely cause a terrifying power that can destroy the world. Just wait and see, this divine ability will definitely erupt with a terrifying destructive power that can shock one's heart. Is this divine ability really that powerful?" A cultivator couldn't help but ask. "Of course. This divine ability is so heaven-defying." The cultivator nodded and said. He was extremely confident in the divine ability that the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had used. Myriad kingdoms floated in the air. Myriad gods were born. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor stood in the center of the Myriad Kingdom God. He was like the creator of the world, powerful and immortal. High and mighty. "Lowly ant, I'll let you have a taste of my supreme divine ability. To be able to die under the attack of my divine ability, even if you die, it won't be a loss." As soon as the Myriad Kingdom Emperor finished speaking, the Myriad Kingdom God rushed towards Lin Feng at the same time. "That kid is dead for sure." Many of the spectating cultivators couldn't help but exclaim, thinking that Lin Feng would definitely die. It was impossible to resist such a terrifying attack from the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. "My Tao is the Tao of supremacy. In this world, I am the supremacy, and my divine ability is invincible." Lin Feng looked at the 10,000 countries' great emperor indifferently. Then, he stepped forward and circulated his magic power. The divine ability formation formed by thousands of divine abilities in his body was also activated. Together, they supported Lin Feng's supreme reincarnation fist. In the face of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's attack, Lin Feng still used the supreme reincarnation fist, an unparalleled divine ability. However, Lin Feng's second move was even more powerful than the first. Bang! Accompanied by a violent collision, the two sides collided again. Everyone saw that the Myriad Kingdom God formed by the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was destroyed by Lin Feng's punch. Then, Lin Feng's terrifying punch landed on the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's chest. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor was sent flying. Crack, crack. Chapter 3497. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms was heavily injured by Lin Feng's attack. The outcome of the battle had been decided. Many people were shocked. The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms' powerful divine ability was actually broken by Lin Feng's divine ability. Now, everyone understood one thing. Even though the silver armor had increased Lin Feng's battle strength by a lot, it was still too weak. However, the silver armor's enhancement to Lin Feng was only part of the reason why Lin Feng's battle strength was so strong. The most fundamental reason was that Lin Feng's cultivation was strong enough. If Lin Feng's cultivation level wasn't high enough, even with the silver armor, his battle strength would still be far from the terrifying battle strength that Lin Feng had displayed. No, 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 this is impossible! The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, who had been defeated by Lin Feng, could not help but roar loudly. He had even used his trump card. He could not even defeat a young cultivator like Lin Feng. This was a huge blow to the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Lin Feng looked at the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms with an indifferent expression. As he rushed towards the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, he sneered and said, "Nothing is impossible. Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms, are you ready to die?" The Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms' expression was extremely gloomy. As much as he did not want to admit it, but the truth was indisputable. Lin Feng was indeed too strong. It was not something he could contend against. When the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms saw Lin Feng rushing towards him, he said coldly, "Kid, don't be too happy. Our grudge will not end so easily. Just you wait, I will cut you into 1,000 pieces sooner or later." As soon as he finished speaking, the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms turned around and flew into the distance. He wanted to escape. Lin Feng sneered and said, "You think you can escape just because you want to? No one can save you today!" Lin Feng quickly chased after him. Lin Feng's speed was too fast, and he quickly caught up to the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. Lin Feng unleashed a devil ancestor holy fist at myriad kingdom emperors. An ancient devil ancestor appeared behind Lin Feng. The ancient evil ancestor couldn't help but roar. Then, he charged toward myriad kingdom emperor. The face of the myriad kingdom emperors turned extremely ugly. Because Lin Feng's attack was too terrifying. He had no choice but to stop and defend against Lin Feng's attacks. Violent energy fluctuations surged out of myriad kingdom emperor's body. Next, myriad kingdom emperor used a divine ability called blood sea waves. This mystique condensed a terrifying destructive power. It was a sea of blood. Then, it condensed and formed. That blood-red sea could shatter the void with just a slight tremor. The attacks from both sides were extremely powerful. But the 10,000 countries' great emperor's attacks were much weaker than Lin Feng's. The divine ability of the Emperor of 10,000 Kingdoms. It was directly broken by Lin Feng. Then, a destructive force blasted the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body. Myriad Kingdom Emperor was sent flying again. Wah! Myriad Kingdom Emperor vomited blood. His injuries became more and more serious. Is the Myriad Kingdom Emperor going to be killed? Many cultivators who were watching the battle said in shock. Emperor-level experts were different from cultivators of other realms. Existences of this level. Very few people died. If an Emperor Realm Master were to fall, then, at that time, it would definitely be earth-shattering news. And now, the result of the battle between Lin Feng and the Myriad Kingdom Emperor seemed to be irreversible. Lin Feng quickly rushed toward the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Now was the best time to kill the Myriad Kingdom Emperor in one go. If he missed this opportunity, it wouldn't be easy to kill the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. With a thought, flowers bloom, the sovereign descends to the world. Lin Feng used the supreme technique passed down by the mysterious Devil Lord. After this powerful divine ability was used, it exploded with a terrifying power that shook people's hearts. The demonic might was vast. It enveloped all directions. That terrifying aura. This caused countless people to be aghast. Many people felt that Lin Feng seemed to have transformed into an immortal Devil Lord. Everyone's face. They were all deeply shocked. Who is he? Many people looked at Lin Feng, and they couldn't help but feel puzzled. So young. So powerful. Lin Feng's identity. Lin Feng's background. Everyone was puzzled. But no one knew Lin Feng's specific background. Myriad Kingdom Emperor naturally wouldn't sit still and wait for death. He quickly took out a powerful defensive magic treasure. This powerful magic treasure was a bronze shield. Its defense was extremely strong. Myriad Kingdom Emperor wanted to use the bronze shield to block Lin Feng's attack. Bang! A violent collision sound was heard. Lin Feng's divine ability bombarded Myriad Kingdom Emperor's shield. Myriad Kingdom Emperor's shield was sent flying by Lin Feng's divine ability. Then Lin Feng's divine ability continued to bombard Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body. This time, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's injuries were even more serious. Half of his body was blasted apart. Myriad Kingdom Emperor, no one in the world can save you. Lin Feng's expression was cold, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. He continued to attack Myriad Kingdom Emperor. The Supreme Reincarnation Fist was directly swung out. He punched out at the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. After feeling the terrifying aura emitted from Lin Feng's body, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's face couldn't help but reveal a look of despair. Myriad Kingdom Emperor was unwilling to die in Lin Feng's hands like this. Therefore, Myriad Kingdom Emperor hurriedly used his divine ability to block Lin Feng's attack. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, the two weapons collided. Lin Feng and Myriad Kingdom Emperor collided once again. After Myriad Kingdom Emperor's divine ability was broken by Lin Feng, Lin Feng's punch landed on Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body. This time, Myriad Kingdom Emperor's body directly exploded. It turned into a bloody mist. A mass of grayish-brown energy quickly flew into the distance. That mass of grayish-brown energy was the soul of Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul wanted to escape. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He waved his hand. He charged towards Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. "Spare me! Spare me! As long as you spare my life, I'm willing to give you endless treasures." Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul begged. If his soul was destroyed, the Emperor of 10,000 kingdoms had completely vanished into thin air. Myriad Kingdom Emperor didn't want to die. So when faced with life and death, Myriad Kingdom Emperor threw away his dignity. But Lin Feng was indifferent. He had no intention of sparing Myriad Kingdom Emperor at all. Lin Feng directly suppressed Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul, and then began to search Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. But at this moment, a terrifying aura came from the depths of Myriad Kingdom Emperor's soul. That aura was truly terrifying to the extreme. It made Lin Feng feel a sense of shock. "You actually killed Myriad Kingdom Emperor! Despicable ant, have you ever thought about how you will die?" Chapter 3498. Then, an illusory shadow condensed. This illusory shadow was the existence that spoke to Lin Feng. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. He originally thought that the rise of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was entirely due to his own means. But now it seemed that this wasn't the case. There were also hidden experts behind the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. It was just that Lin Feng didn't know about it before. Perhaps many people had been deceived by the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. Not only did Lin Feng not know, many people didn't know. After this terrifying existence appeared, it directly locked onto Lin Feng's divine sense. Swish! The next moment, this terrifying existence appeared in Lin Feng's mind. "Destroy your soul! I'll shatter your soul into nothingness! Only in this way can I vent the hatred in my heart!" The terrifying existence said in an indifferent voice. He had transformed into the appearance of a cultivator. However, the cultivator that this existence had transformed into was surrounded by a layer of holy light. It was impossible to see what he looked like. "Who are you?" Lin Feng asked in a deep voice, wanting to find out the identity of the existence behind the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. This terrifying existence sneered and said, "How can a lowly ant be qualified to know this lord's identity? Go to hell now." As his voice faded, this terrifying existence began to attack Lin Feng. Boom! A powerful attack that could destroy heaven and earth instantly erupted. Those powerful attacks were all aimed at Lin Feng's soul. Lin Feng's soul entered the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp. Then, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp gently shook the void. The Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp swept out the light of Primal Chaos and blasted towards the attack of this terrifying creature. Bang! The two sides collided. Lin Feng's attack from the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp and this terrifying existence's attack were both annihilated. Lin Feng couldn't help but be shocked. This terrifying existence was just a divine sense imprint. To be able to block the attack of the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp, it was truly peerless and terrifying. However, Lin Feng's attacks were not limited to the ancient Primal Chaos Lamp. The 5 great heavenly flames were also extremely damaging to the cultivators' souls. Lin Feng brought out the 5 great heavenly flames. He used the 5 great heavenly flames to form the 5 elemental heavenly fire great array and launched a fierce attack on the terrifying existence. Together with the help of the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp, that terrifying existence was suppressed by Lin Feng. Perhaps the one who will be destroyed today will be you. Not me. Now that I've destroyed your divine sense imprint, sooner or later, I'll kill your true self. Lin Feng stared coldly at the terrifying existence. His attacks became even more ferocious. Although that terrifying existence was incomparably powerful, it was only a divine sense brand after all. Facing so many powerful attacks from Lin Feng, he was suppressed to the point that he didn't have much power to fight back. After more than 10 consecutive waves of attacks, the body of this terrifying existence finally couldn't take it anymore. The sound of cracking could be heard. The terrifying existence's body began to crack apart. Damn it! The terrifying existence's expression was gloomy to the extreme. He originally thought that it would be quite easy to destroy Lin Feng's soul. But who would have thought that it would be so difficult to destroy Lin Feng's soul? Lin Feng's soul was really too powerful. Moreover, he also had a powerful life source magic treasure. Plus the 5 great heavenly flames. They had never seen such a monstrous cultivator. Lin Feng's cultivation level was so high that he could defy the laws of the universe. Lin Feng made him feel a little wary. But more than that, there was a dense killing intent. Boy! I'll remember you. Quietly wait for the arrival of death. When this Lord's true self appears, you will know that in front of this Lord, you are simply an ant and a dog. You don't even have the qualifications to make this Lord attack. This Lord can destroy you millions of times with just a glance. This terrifying existence said coldly, glancing sideways at Lin Feng. He didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. As far as he was concerned, killing Lin Feng was a piece of cake. It was as easy as blowing off dust. Lin Feng sneered and said, "You're about to die and yet you still dare to boast shamelessly. What a joke!" The attacks of the chaotic ancient lamp and the 5 great heavenly flames became more and more violent. This terrifying existence was suppressed to the extreme. At this time, Lin Feng's soul turned into Luya's star-observing map and flew out. In an instant, he flew to the front of this terrifying existence. He swept across the void gently. Poochie! A tearing sound suddenly came out. The body of that terrifying existence was instantly torn into 2 halves by Luya's star-observing map transformed by Lin Feng. Then, Luya's star-observing map transformed by Lin Feng suddenly shook. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. The body of that terrifying existence directly exploded. After destroying that terrifying existence, Lin Feng let out a long breath. At this time, Lin Feng came back to his senses and found that the soul of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor had been destroyed. The idea of exploring the secret of the Myriad Kingdom Emperor was completely ruined. He put away the Myriad Kingdom Emperor's origin and storage ring, and then quickly left with you, Simon. The Myriad Kingdom Emperor is dead! That kid actually killed the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. That's too terrifying! Even with the help of that armor, it's absolutely impossible to increase his combat strength like that. It seems that the kid's combat strength is unimaginable. Ordinary Emperor Realm cultivators can't provoke that kid. Otherwise, only death awaits. As for us, let's just watch the show. Yeah. If you have any ideas about that kid, you'll definitely end up the same as the Myriad Kingdom Emperor. After Lin Feng left, many cultivators who were watching the battle from afar began to discuss, and everyone's faces were filled with deep shock. Lin Feng's strength had completely shocked these cultivators. Now, these cultivators were emboldened. These cultivators did not dare to attack Lin Feng. By the time Emperor Taigon and the leader of the demonic bandits arrived, Lin Feng and Yu Simon had been gone for a long time. The two emperors learned what happened from the cultivators who were watching the battle. Their expressions couldn't help but become solemn. But soon, their killing intent became awe-inspiring, and their eyes were filled with endless greed. The silver armor Lin Feng was wearing was simply too terrifying. Lin Feng's battle prowess had increased by so much when he had put on that silver armor. Then, what if they wore it? How much would their combat strength increase? Just thinking about it made the two emperors extremely excited. The two emperors quickly left, and then they each issued a new Starry Sky Wanted order, ordering Lin Feng to be wanted in the entire Starry Sky world. The news that Lin Feng had killed the Myriad Kingdom Emperor quickly spread, and this matter was spread within the surrounding dozens of starfields. This matter immediately caused a huge uproar. Countless cultivators were discussing this matter. They were all guessing Lin Feng's identity. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.